In AC, bring your card to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Michigan bothering the inbound. Flip it Reed. Here comes Smith. 10 seconds left. Smith snakes inside. Claim to roll. No. Rebound loose. Fight to the deck. Picked up by Gale. He flings it to the other side. Game clock at 3. Caravan catches. That's it. Michigan wins. 69-63. The leaders and best reach college basketball's pinnacle for the second time. Michigan wins the national championship, 69-63 over the Huskies of Connecticut. And Terry Mills, you and that 1989 team finally have company.
Brian Bush with the call, the voice of Michigan basketball. We had him on the show last week prior to the Wildcats' loss to the Wolverines in the national semifinals, and Michigan completed the trek Monday night to winning the national championship, knocking off the Connecticut Huskies by 6 points, 79-73. But UConn plus 6.5. UConn plus 6.5. That was the play. That was the win. So, hey, it was a winning night for everybody, at least those that took Connecticut and the points in the game. The best team all year was able to finish it, and that's not always the case. That's not always the case in terms of athletics as a whole, and college basketball is a note. But that clearly, I always thought that Michigan. I said last week, I thought Michigan was the best team. And from start to finish, the way they bludgeoned teams by 30-plus points, the way they picked apart clubs all throughout the season, and did so again in the postseason, winning their elite game by 30 points, beating the Wildcats by 18 points in the national semifinal. Much tougher ball game, obviously, much different style of ball game. UConn tried to get physical and muck it up because they knew that was probably the only way they had a chance to win the game. And credit to them. Hey, they played the game they felt like they needed to play to win it, and they were within a few possessions at the very end. But Ademar and company, Trey McKinney, Elliot Cadeau, the most outstanding player of the Final Four, just too much in the end. And congratulations to Michigan, as much as somebody from Ohio and the Pac-12. That pains me to say anything positive about Michigan, but they are the champions for 2025-26. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Good to be back home. Good to be back here in the old Pueblo. Good to have sun on your face and it not be a cold breeze coming with it. All of that good stuff as we continue through the week. Took a day off yesterday, travel day, got back about midday. Had a chance to settle kind of in and catch up on a little sleep and visit with the mother and all of that kind of things. And now back at it here with you as we begin the silly season. And it has already gotten silly on just the second day of the transfer portal, at least on the men's side. And I guess this is, I tweeted out earlier today, we cannot pass Tommy Tuberville's legislation soon enough. We cannot get that passed soon enough. And I guess I shouldn't be surprised if you've got players like Jada Williams on the women's side who are going to leave one program, go to another program, and then leave that program. It shouldn't be any surprise that you have players like that on the men's side. Robert Wright, who leaves Baylor to go to BYU, and now after one season is going to leave BYU to go play somewhere else. We cannot pass Tommy Tuberville's legislation soon enough, because this, as far as I'm concerned, that's the worst of this whole thing. The worst of this whole thing is players transferring to different schools every single year. Now, I can maybe understand a Flory Badunga who really blew up this year at Kansas, getting into the portal, seeing what his worth is on the market, maybe making the decision to go back to Kansas, or maybe he makes the decision to go somewhere else. Apparently, there's a list of his Final Fours are out, and Kansas is not among one of them. I'm seeing St. John's. Louisville apparently has a boatload of cash. They threw money at people last year. Apparently, they've got money in the coffers down at Louisville to throw at players like Flory Badunga. So I kind of get that one, but that's where we are. That's what we are. When a blue blood in Kansas is losing arguably their best player to the portal, to schools that we don't, to good programs, don't get me wrong, good program. I think North Carolina or Duke is on that list, so obviously another blue blood. But Louisville, I don't know if we consider them a blue blood anymore. Maybe back 30 years ago, they might have been near that list. St. John's, certainly not. Back. Love the fact they're back. Love the fact Rick Pitino has brought St. John's back into the conversation. But I don't know if we would put them on that list that we talk about all the time. Kansas is one of those teams, and they're losing their best player in the transfer portal. So we cannot pass Tommy Tuberville's legislation soon enough. 520-848-1290. JW Madden, your thoughts. Let's start with, we'll go back to the national championship game later and get your thoughts on that. But your thoughts on the first 48 hours of the silly season.
Yeah, I'm looking at a Big 12 portal list, an official list, and Arizona's the only team that doesn't have a player officially on the list as of now. You know what's funny to me is James Najee is in the portal out of Baylor. I don't even know he had eligibility, but he's in the portal.
Did he even play?
6 players from ASU, 2 currently from BYU, including Xavier Staten, in addition to Rob Wright, like you said. Cincinnati, 7 players, including Jizzle James. Colorado, their entire roster, looks like 9 players are in. Houston, surprisingly, has lost quite a lot of players in the portal. Iowa State, nobody in yet. Kansas has like 6 guys in. And the list goes on and on and on. There's really very few teams on this list, DK. And I think it's very ironic that you started this segment talking about the Michigan Wolverines, who are the first team to win a national championship with 5 transfers who weren't on the roster last year.
Right.
You talk about, putting a team together in the portal. That Michigan Wolverines team was completely made up with players who did not start their career at Michigan, and most of them were not even on the roster last season. So it's just that era. I don't know. The most recent news I'm hearing, DK, is age limitations.
Mm-hmm. Oh, kind of being the solution.
So 5 years out of high school, or 5 years from being 19 in the case of European players who don't have a high school system. So. But as it is right now, it's just the Wild West. It's been the Wild West for 3 years, 4 years now. I'm not surprised to see Robert Wright's name in there. He's a junior who averaged 18 and 6, DK. And clearly he wanted to team up with A.J. DeBonsa, the number 1 high school recruit in the nation. He wanted to do big things up there in Provo. Injuries, Richie Saunders kind of faltered a little bit down the stretch. I don't know that he's looking for a bag as much as looking for a place with the pulse, because there is not much left up there in Provo. They got to completely rebuild that system. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me where, the fun to me was watching freshmen become juniors, right? And that process of watching guys like Jordan Hill and the giant leap he took from his freshman year to his junior year, until he was an all-conference level player, and going along that ride as fans and watching that process. And that's a huge part to me of what what's great about being a fan of college athletics is they're kids, quote unquote, for lack of a better term, DK, when they get on campus. They don't know what's going on. Deer in the headlights, all those things. And then to watch a guy be a senior and leave the program, confidently walking, with that certain gait of a person who knows what he's doing and has been there and done that. And now that journey is just not a part of the process anymore. And some of these schools are very eager to dump a bunch of money of their boosters into a big pool and, basically get a bunch of ringers on the team. And I'm not saying that's what Michigan did. A lot of those guys went to go play for Coach May. But some schools on that list that you just made have not had success in a long time. And the rigors of going and recruiting sophomores and juniors and seniors in high school and convincing them and their parents to come to your school so you can develop them, how much easier it is, DK, to not do any of that and just wait till a guy has a decent freshman year at a smaller school and say, come over here and play for us. Yeah. We got more money for you.
And it leads to a larger conversation as we begin to now identify what the roster is going to look like here in Tucson moving forward. You obviously need to replace your point guard. You're going to have to replace your two guard, although that you've got some kids that are already signed out of high school. But the question I am beginning to ask now is what positions are basically not anymore a high school position. I mean, I don't see a world moving forward where you're recruiting a high school point guard unless he's like maybe number 1 or number 2. I don't know if anymore, J-Dub, that makes sense to recruit a high school point guard when you can get an established point guard out of the system. I mean, when you think about what this roster is going to look like next year for Arizona, you got to believe that Tommy Lloyd's next point guard is going to be like Jaden Bradley, although Jaden didn't immediately move into the position, is going to be another guy out of the portal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a kind of guy who hates generalizations, so I don't want to put like every single high school player into one basket. There's always going to be outliers, DK. There's always going to be guys like, I think Braden Burries is a prime example. Do you know what Braden Burries said every time he was asked about how he doesn't let pressure get to him? Keep your circle small. Keep your circle small. Keep your circle small. He's got the same people around him that he's had his whole life. So that idea of being pulled in all these different directions isn't there. I think if you find 18-year-old point guards who have good head on their shoulders and are doing it for the right reason, then that's fine. But the problem, DK, is ideally you want that freshman to not jump into a 35-minute-a-game role where it's vital that he puts up big stats and doesn't turn the ball over. You want that freshman to learn under the junior or senior who's already on the roster, has been with the coach for – that's the perfect system. That's the system of training and helping young players fulfill their potential and become the best version of themselves. And right now, the system is designed where if you splash – and the roster coming back next year for your program isn't quite up to snuff, then you're out. And all that time and energy and effort, I mean, how good is was Henry Vasar this year, DK?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Henry Vasar has 100% responsible for what he did at North Carolina. Himself. He did the work. He put the work in. And he had several years' worth of guidance by the Arizona coaching staff just so that the Tar Heel fans could reap the rewards of all that, the effort and energy that went into that player. So it's just a system by which you have to figure out, DK, where the loyalties of some players lie. And I like that about Coach Lloyd. I feel like Coach Lloyd is not the kind of guy who's going after players who are looking for the most money. He's going after players who want to sacrifice for the betterment of the team and are open to learning and don't mind being, told, hey, you're really good at that fancy behind the back, between the legs dribble move where you put that guy on skates, but you suck at jump stops, which you should have learned when you were 7. Like, I love the fact that Coach Lloyd will tell players you need to go back to the basics, and that's a huge help for guys to get to where they want to be because you have to be great at that stuff. So I don't see a future where Arizona goes after all the top 5 guys in high school, DK, and all the top 5 guys in the portal. I think that Coach Lloyd has the luxury of picking and choosing guys that fit his culture and fit his system, and that might not always be lottery picks. Because sometimes sacrifice is not – 2010 guys don't often like to sacrifice, you know? So it's so weird. They got to figure it out. But, where is the end to all this? Where are we going with all this? And, unless there is some kind of national law created to watch over the kids in college, right now the kids are running everything. They should. The kids should be making money. I'm not here to say they shouldn't. And the system currently right now is just set up for a revolving door, musical chairs, and you don't know who's going to be on campus next year.
All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program, 520-848-1290. We've got one guest today. We're going to talk to that guest coming up. Ryan Radke, Arizona grad, called the Wildcats games in the regional round out in San Jose. Got a chance to call his alma mater's return to the Final Four, and then hopped on a jet and flew here to Phoenix for the women's Final Four, which was won by a Pac-12 team, no longer in the Pac-12, the UCLA Bruins. We will talk to him about that and all that was college basketball this season, as well as you heard him on the NFL broadcast every Sunday night here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Cricket is here as well, and she'll give you your traffic and weather every 20 minutes on the 5.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. With busy troublesome slowing on Speedway between Main and Stone Avenue. Also busy Palo Verde and Irvington. Roadwork at the intersection. More roadwork and slowdowns at Ajo and Keno. Roadwork and a closure Country Club Road closed under I-10. 62 the overnight low, 93 mostly sunny tomorrow, and 92 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Never wait to see your family doctor again. At My Doctor Now, you don't need to take time off work or even schedule ahead. Open 7 days a week. It's your family doctor. Available same day, every day, guaranteed. Go to My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Tune in Friday, April 10th as Chip Hale and your Arizona Wildcats take on the TCU Horned Frogs. First pitch is scheduled for 4 p.m. and pregame, starting at 3:45 p.m. right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Spring is in the air, and Alev's long-lasting pain relief is here to keep you moving. The days are longer and the flowers are blooming. Whether it's gardening, yard work, or just spending more time outdoors, spring is a way of getting us moving despite any body pain. That's where Aleve can keep you going. With just one dose, Aleve gives you long-lasting body pain relief for up to 12 hours. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Wildcat fans, it's time to renew your season tickets. Renewals are now live for Arizona football, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and soccer. Not a season ticket holder? Well, now's your chance to become one, as new season tickets are also on sale. Visit ArizonaWildcats.com/renew or call 520-621-CATS, that's 621-2287, to renew or buy new season tickets. And remember, the deadline to renew is May 1st. Bear down.
So hot. I can help you.
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought. This AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704. Or jtautoaz.com.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. Ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Well, there ain't no bigger bummer than a really sucky plumber who takes a paycheck of 2 weeks. Yeah, we're still dealing with these leaks. We should have called around plumber first. Those other plumbers are the worst. So we went to their website. Man, they know how to lay pipe right. RoundPlumbingAZ.com. Yeah, Round Plumbing is the bomb. RoundPlumbingAZ.com.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
79-64, 11 seconds left. All Arizona has to do is bring it across. Heat will dribble up to the midcourt line. The Arizona fans are on their feet. The horn will sound in San Jose. Bear down, Arizona! For the first time since 2001, the Arizona Wildcats are going to the Final Four. Arizona 79, Purdue 64, and the Wildcats are headed back to Indianapolis, the site of their 1997 national title. Arizona returns to the Final Four with a 15-point win over Purdue.
Ryan Radke, Arizona Wildcats grad, 1998, on the call of the West Regional Finals for Westwood 1. And this past weekend, he was the play-by-play man for the network's coverage of the women's Final Four here in Arizona. Joins us now. Ryan, I know you do a hell of a job of being impartial when you are put on Arizona games, as you have been over the years as a West Coast-based announcer for Westwood 1. But how did that make you feel, though, to have a chance to be in that seat to see your schools return to the Final Four?
Well, look, I mean, it's always fun. I mean, I'm a Wildcat at heart, and I always will be. And it's always fun to get to see people that I've known for a long time and get to call games for a team that I'm very familiar with. At the same time, like you said, my job is to be impartial, and I work really, really hard to do that. Really enjoyed talking to Matt Painter and the Purdue guys. They were unbelievable, and they played a heck of a game, especially that first half. So I really try not to get wrapped up in the emotion of it and stay down the middle on those games. And hopefully I was able to do that.
Did you know, though, that you were going to use the term bear down in your final call? Was that something? I know we had talked to Brian, and he said he had written down a few things to say and ended up not saying anything that he wrote down.
Yeah, I try not to pre-plan things. It's just the way that it's kind of worked for me over the years. And so I like to try to just react in the moment. And that was kind of the first thing that came to mind when the clock was ticking down and it was obvious that they were going to win. So I'm not one of those. I know there are people that like to do that. It's just not something that's ever worked for me. So I try to just kind of react as things happen.
Ryan Radke joining us, Westwood One announcer, Arizona Wildcats grad, class of 1998, was on the call of the Wildcats in the West Regional weekend in San Jose, women's Final Four this past weekend. When you looked at this men's basketball team this year, Ryan, what did you really like about the way that this team was constructed and the way that it all played out on the floor?
Well, I mean, look, first of all, I think Tommy Lloyd and his staff did a heck of a job. I mean, when you bring in freshmen, it's great to get big-time freshmen, but you never know how it's going to work out, right? And I think we saw that around the country this year, that there were teams that had great freshmen who didn't last too long in the tournament. I think the job that those guys did with that team really was brilliant. I mean, you go back to the beginning of the year and, see how Braden Burry struggled right out of the gate. And then, suddenly, maybe became their best player down the stretch in the last couple of weeks. Koa Pete comes out of the gates and, has 30 in that first game against Florida. And, I mean, just unbelievable to help them get off to that good start. And the way they were able to mix those guys with the veterans like Jaden Bradley and Mo Krivas, I just think they did a great job. And I think it was an Arizona team that, probably answered some questions that we've had about other Arizona teams in the past. I think they were a complete team that played at both ends. They were an outstanding offensive team, but they could also lock you up defensively, and they were tough. I mean, they showed up night after night on the glass and had to win some games like that. So I just thought it was a really complete team. It was a fun team to watch all year. Tough for them to end the way they did. It's the wrong team to have a bad night against because Michigan is really, really good, as we saw all season long. But I think they should be really proud of the season they had.
Ryan Radke, our guest, Westwood One, play-by-play man. He was on the women's Final Four here in the desert this past weekend, won by the UCLA Bruins. How many years now has this been for you calling the women's Final Four, Ryan?
This was 6. My first year was the bubble in San Antonio. So, yeah, 6 years.
There you go. So you were there, obviously, when the Wildcat ladies got to within a stone's throw of winning the national championship. You got 4 number 1 seeds in Phoenix. By far the 4 best teams in the country. And it was wild. UCLA, I mean, that's a team that's just been building and building and building. And I hadn't really followed them all that closely this year. And when I turned on the game this weekend, I'm thinking, man, I felt like I was watching the all Pac-12 first team from like 4 years ago. I was like, Jesus, you got Charlize Ledger-Walker out there from Washington State. You got Knipkins from Utah was out there as well. I'm like, wow, you got obviously Lauren Betts started her career at Stanford. I was like, Corey Close just went out and said, I'm just getting all the best players from the conference and bringing them down here to Los Angeles.
Yeah, she did. And you're right. I mean, the way they built the last couple of years, it was Sweet 16, and they got to the Final Four last year and, really kind of got embarrassed in the national semifinal against UConn and left, I think, a lot of questions around them, including from me going into this year about how they would respond. They told us going in they felt like being on that stage last year had taught them a lot, and they were going to be a totally different team. And I think they were. I mean, give them a ton of credit. Their defense was unbelievable in both games this weekend, and I think they proved themselves to be deserving national champs with the way they played.
Yeah, there's no question about that. First national championship for the UCLA Bruins. How close were you to the dust-up at the end of the South Carolina game with UConn?
Yeah, it was across the court from us. We're opposite the benches, so it was kind of weird because we're counting down the final seconds, and I'm focused on what's happening right in front of us, and all of a sudden everybody around me is pointing across the court, and I look over and I didn't see what started it originally. I didn't see that until later, and I just kind of saw the words exchanged and people stepping in between, and so it was kind of wild. I mean, at that point, you almost feel like you go into boxing mode of doing punch by punch instead of play by play, even though thank God there was no punches thrown. But it was weird. It was just a strange situation. And I think, unfortunately for the sport, it kind of hovered over the entire weekend. Gino came out, issued a statement, which a lot of people didn't like because he still didn't mention Dawn Staley by name. And, obviously since then has come out with another statement, and he and Dawn have talked and hopefully have gotten it all behind him. But I think it was unfortunate for the sport because I do think it just kind of cast a cloud not only over that game but over the entire weekend. It's all anybody was really talking about. And I know those that are passionate about women's basketball and growing the game, that's really the last thing that they wanted to see.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that because that was going to be my next question because you said you'd been there pretty much the last 6 years. You were there in the bubble, and that was really the first year that we had people start talking about maybe some of the differences between the women's Final Four and the things that the young women there were getting versus the things that were happening on the men's side. Have you seen change in that in terms of the amenities for the ladies over the course of the last 6 years of their Final Four event?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt it's gotten better. I think in some ways the bubble was a great thing for women's basketball, and some of the controversy of the bubble was actually a great thing for the sport. I think they have made progress. I think there are things that are going in the right direction, and yet there's still some things that need to be cleaned up. I mean, Gino Auriemma talked about that this year, that some of the issues they have with the two-site regional and the 6 a.m. shoot-arounds, which is absurd to ask any team to do that, especially at this point. So I do think there are steps being made in a positive direction. I think, coming out of the bubble, we went through the Caitlin Clark era, which obviously was massive for women's basketball, put a lot of eyes on the sport. And I think that audience has largely been retained. I told people this coming out of the Clark era. Yes, TV ratings are going to go down. That's just the way it is. I mean, when Michael Jordan left the NBA, TV ratings went down. That's the way it is. People watch great players, but I still think there's a good audience for it. I think they're in a spot where they are still trying to make the strides they would like to make to feel like they're on a somewhat even par with where the men are at this point.
What do you, we were in, obviously, Indianapolis, and we had a gentleman on from the Indiana Sports Corps, and he said that obviously 2 years from now they're going to host, and it's going to be at the Lucas Oil Stadium. First time that they're ever going to play the women's Final Four in an NFL stadium. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a good idea? I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of the men's event in a stadium setting like that. I mean, I walked around just to kind of get an idea of the sight lines, and I mean, I'm at the top of the main concourse, where center court would be, and it still felt like it was a mile away. The court was a mile away to me. I'm not a big fan of these NFL events. I'm curious your thoughts on the women going into that type of situation.
Yeah, it's not my favorite idea for men or women. I understand why they do it. I mean, obviously, you look at the crowds that were there, and they sell a ton of tickets. And selling a ton of tickets equals making a ton of money. And I get it from that perspective. I have been told that the women's, they're probably going to curtain off part of it. So it will probably look more like the bubble did, where you'll probably have a seating capacity of 25, maybe 30,000, as opposed to what the men had at 70,000. So I do think that part is a good idea. But yeah, I mean, in general, I don't love the stadium settings. It feels like every time we go, then we start talking about depth perception and how different it is for guys shooting and what that means for scoring and things like that. But as I said, I get it. We're in an era of people trying to maximize the dollar, and that's the way you do it. You have more seats, you sell more tickets, and they're going to make money. And as long as 70,000 people show up, from an NCAA perspective, it's hard for them, I think, to look at it and say, well, we need to downsize and sell 40,000 less tickets.
Ryan Radke is our guest, Westwood One play-by-play man, Arizona grad, class of 1998. You hear him every Sunday night here during the NFL season, NFL Sunday Night Football. Man, Ryan, you had some wild games down the stretch in the postseason. I believe you were on the Bears game in the playoffs, as well as the AFC divisional game between that the Broncos and the Bills played. You were on both those games, right?
Yeah, it was kind of wild. Luck of the draw and what game you got sent to, and we got to go to Chicago for that Bears-Packers game. That was just, I mean, unbelievable to be in that environment and the way that game ended, and then go from there to Denver and the interception that wasn't an interception, that was a catch, that was, whatever you wanted it to be, was insane. And then going back a week later for a snowstorm in the AFC Championship game. So yeah, pretty fortunate this year. Ended up with some pretty exciting games to finish out, and it's been a lot of fun, that's for sure.
All right, Ryan, in a cold weather football game, are you a windows open or windows closed guy? Do you dictate that, or who makes that call?
The windows are always open over the objections of my good friend and partner, Mike Golick, who has gotten soft in his old age. A kid that grew up in Cleveland and then went to Notre Dame. He's a full-blown Scottsdale guy now, where he would rather have the windows closed. But I find a way to open them, and then he has some choice words for me and threatens me with, an inch of my life. And then we make up and we get through the game. So it's, it's all good. But yes, the windows are always open. Dress accordingly if you're coming to one of our games.
Do you have a specific analyst that you work with on basketball for college, or do you work with different people?
I've had a chance to work with a lot of different people. I've worked a lot with PJ Carlesimo, who I was with in San Jose for the West Regional there for the Arizona Purdue game in the final, and really love working with PJ. He's great. Got a chance to work with Austin Crozier this year in Portland in the first and second rounds, which was a lot of fun. So I've gotten a chance to work with a lot of different people, and fortunate that Westwood One has some pretty talented analysts that I get to spend time around. And guys like that, I get to pick their brain. The coaches like PJ and Tom Crean, who I'm a huge fan of. Worked with him. I love sitting with those guys and kind of picking their brain about the game and trying to learn a little bit more about what teams are doing. And when you have somebody like Austin who played in the NBA as long as he did, it's great to ask him about how he thinks guys project and things like that. Plus, he's always got great stories about the Malice and the Palace. So if you ever get bored, you can go to that and get all the stories on that from him. So it's great.
All right, Ryan, you get a few weeks off before we'll hear you on the Women's College World Series. You'll be doing that again this year?
Yes, looking forward to it. Oklahoma City, I think I saw on my flight app the other day, that's like 50-something days away. So coming quick, looking forward to it. Always one of my favorite events every year to go and do that. So looking forward to it.
There you go. So what do you do to keep yourself busy over these next 5-6 weeks or close to 2 months?
Oh, there's always something. I'll be in Pittsburgh for the NFL draft here in a couple weeks, doing some stuff there, and then I got a little time at home. Got some family events that we'll be traveling for, and then going to Oklahoma City. So we'll find ways to stay busy. The last couple days, it's kind of been just hanging out, trying to regroup and refresh after a month on the road. And, about the time you feel like you've kind of gotten there, then it's time to start over again. So it works out pretty well.
There you go. Ryan, hey, always great to have a chance to chat with you. Continued success and great work and everything you're doing at Westwood One. And we'll look forward to the Women's College World Series coming up here at the end of May, beginning of June.
All right, DK. Sounds great. Thanks, man.
Ryan Radke, Arizona grad, class of 1998, Westwood One broadcaster, Sunday Night Football, college basketball, women and men. And, of course, like we just said, he'll be the play-by-play announcer on the Women's College World Series coming up here later this spring. DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. All right, we want to chat with you today. Get your thoughts on the national title game the other night, what you thought Michigan and UConn. Did it play out the way that you thought it did? We got a lot to get into. A lot's happened today. One of my favorite baseball players all time is now an ancestor. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. Suns, Diamondbacks in the beginning of their season. Territorial Cup, we'll update you on all of that. U of A softball, baseball, Pima College, a lot to get into as we continue on with you right up until 6 o'clock. DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Calle Concordia near Oracle crash reported as a hit-and-run wreck on Calle Concordia west of Oracle. That might be off on private property. Also, they got that closure, 22nd Street closed, Tucson Boulevard to Cherry Belle Avenue for road work. Use Broadway or Aviation Parkway instead. And for your weather, looking at about 62, the overnight low 93 and mostly sunny tomorrow, 91 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather
This
Together.
report is sponsored by My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Never wait to see your family doctor again. And My Doctor Now, you don't need to take time off work or even schedule ahead. Open 7 days a week. It's your family doctor. Available same day, every day, guaranteed. Go to My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, helping you beat books with Westwood One Sports. The big golf tournament this week starts on Thursday, and the golfer I like to win the event, currently sitting at second on the odds board, the Spaniard who has won a green jacket in the past. He's coming into this tournament in excellent form, and I don't think the favorite is going to win the event, so give me the Spaniard at the top of the board to win. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
The 2026 NFL Draft, presented by Bud Light. Catch all 7 rounds, 3 days, live from Pittsburgh, April 23rd through 25th. Watch every pick live on NFL Network, ESPN, and ABC. NFL Network is also streaming with NFL Plus. It all starts Thursday, April 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern. Visit NFL.com/draft for more information. Subscription required for NFL Plus. Visit plus.nfl.com for terms. The NFL, powered by Verizon 5G.
We're chatting with our guest, always safety first, 811 Megaphone Man.
Call 811 before you dig.
You never stray from your mission of letting homeowners, landscapers, and excavators know you should always call 811 before you dig.
Call 811.
Call for both small and big jobs. And 2 working days in advance?
811.
Any parting words? And I'm guessing they will be.
Call 811 before you dig.
Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
811.
Everyone loves a backyard barbecue, but who has the time? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire in Oro Valley and Catalina. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and our neighbors for years, and we still get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. In Oro Valley, you'll discover bold, smoky brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and many creative dishes, paired with local craft beers on tap and specialty cocktails. Fork and Fire, your neighborhood backyard barbecue, where great food meets good times and strong community. Join us today at Fork and Fire, Oro Valley, and in Catalina.
Wildcat fans, it's time to renew your season tickets. Renewals are now live for Arizona football, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, and soccer. Not a season ticket holder? Well, now's your chance to become one, as new season tickets are also on sale. Visit ArizonaWildcats.com/renew or call 520-621-CATS, that's 621-2287, to renew or buy new season tickets. And remember, the deadline to renew is May 1st. Bear down.
Full Send Golf.
You guys know how much I really love golf, and I think every week would be dope to post on the Golf Channel. I want to get a lot of guests on here.
Salim's going to take lead. I'm down to be in it. It's not really work to play golf.
Join the party on the golf course.
I was like, let's go to the range. Oh. So what are we putting on it?
We said 10K, right?
10K?
All right. We probably bet more than all the other golf channels, right?
10K, 9 holes.
Those guys bet for like cookies.
I feel like I'm going to shank it.
This guy's been trading like a Navy SEAL when it comes to golf.
I'm very excited. You excited?
Yeah.
Full Send Golf. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 321-4100.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Hey, did you hear about that multi-billion-dollar Roundup settlement?
Yeah, it impacts people who are exposed to weed killers at work or at home, even if you just used it in your own yard. Lawsuits claim it causes non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a blood cancer.
But we're not sick, so that doesn't affect us.
But it does. This cancer can take 10 to 15 years to show up.
That's a long time after exposure.
It is, and that's why the settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you get sick, even years from now, you could get $6,000 to $165,000 or more as part of this settlement.
So what's the catch?
If you stay in, you give up the right to sue them later.
Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 1-888-403-8201. If you or a loved one has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, even if they've passed, you must register for benefits. That's weedkillerclass.com. 1-888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Kay on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
One of my favorite Los Angeles Dodgers growing up has passed away.
Hits the first pitch deep to left field. Roy White going back, all the way back. This ball is out of here. 3-0 Dodgers. Crowd chanting Lopes, Lopes.
It's surprising power this year, Joe. Quite a few home runs, and he can hit the ball out of any part of this ballpark.
There goes one deep to left center field. It's another one.
There's an inspired young man right there, Davey Lopes, with his second home run.
Davey Lopes, a part of one of the iconic infields of the 1970s in Major League Baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Four-time All-Star, one of the best base stealers of his generation, has passed away at the age of 80 today. 16 years. He played in the big leagues, 10 seasons with the Dodgers. He was on that 1981 World Series team. He was on those two World Series teams in 77 and 78 that lost in the World Series to the New York Yankees. Those two home runs you heard there coming in game number 6 of the 1978 World Series against the New York Yankees. Finally, the Dodgers got past that Yankee juggernaut in 1981 to get the title, man. There was that infield. I mean, we've talked about it. I've talked about it before. That infield of Steve Garvey at first, Davey Lopes at second, Bill Russell at short, Ron Say at third. I mean, those four guys, they played together for 9 seasons, 9 straight seasons. You rolled out the same infield, which, in today's world of Major League Baseball would likely never happen, because one of those guys would go sign, would be so good that they would go sign somewhere else. But there was something just if you grew up in Los Angeles in the 70s, and I moved to LA in 1974, so the second of those 9 seasons that those 4 men played together, I mean, you knew it was summer when you looked out onto that Dodgers infield and saw those 4 guys out there playing baseball together. And Davey Lopes was my favorite of the group. Fast, short, not somebody you would look at and think, man, that guy's a big league baseball player. Wasn't very tall, but had tremendous speed, a flashy but consistent glove at second base. I just so enjoyed him. I've always said he and Dusty Baker, my 2 favorite Dodgers of that era, of the 1970s, early 1980s. And sadly, we have lost Davey Lopes today at the age of 1980. So if you grew up in that era, I'd love to hear from you today. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. If you grew up in that era of Dodger baseball, I know that was in the era before there was a professional baseball team here in Arizona. So there's a lot of folks that gravitated to the Dodgers and watched the Dodgers here in Southern Arizona during that time. So if you have memories of those teams, would love to hear from you as well. On the day of the loss of the great Davey Lopes, went on to coach in the major leagues with the Dodgers and the Phillies, and managed the Milwaukee Brewers for parts of 3 seasons in the 1990s as well. Just a great all-around ball player, Davey Lopes, gone today at the age of 80. All right, 520 again, 848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We were talking in the first half hour about college basketball and the, quote, silly season now, which is the transfer portal opening. And currently, your Arizona Wildcats are one of very few teams across college basketball that do not have a single player as of the moment in the transfer portal. And 3 of those teams are teams that were in the Final Four. Illinois, Michigan, Arizona, all teams that don't currently have a player in the transfer portal. Now, how long will that last? That remains to be seen. The Wildcats just got back, so I'm sure that Tommy Lloyd and his team immediately started identifying and talking to their players. And obviously there was the new deal last week that Tommy Lloyd got that obviously changed the structure of the program in terms of the NIL and monies that can be allotted to players. So I'm sure they have to figure all that out and get going on who they want to try to keep, who they want to go after, and all of that. But Jada, shocked that so far we've not heard of any Arizona Wildcats going into the portal?
No, I'm not, because I think there's other decisions that are dominoes, right? Because we don't really know exactly what's going to happen with the star freshmen. I mean, we all assume, or some people assume, that they're going to go to the NBA, those who can. But the NIL era, DK, affords the opportunity for players to stick around. So once those decisions are made, I think we'll find out pretty soon. I don't think they're going to drag their feet too long. But I'm not surprised that there weren't players that jumped into the portal on the first day. One name I was kind of surprised was Masamba Diop, DK. Did you hear that story?
I did not.
Okay, so he put his name in the portal today with a do not contact tag, which apparently is something that student athletes can now do, meaning I already know where I want to go.
Yeah.
So all y'all who think you want me on your team, don't come at me. I don't want to hear from you. So that's a guy we actually kind of marveled at with the School Up North squad. The biggest problem I have with this, DK, is all the star players from teams that maybe underachieved go in the portal day one. I think teams like Arizona, I'm less surprised when their players don't jump into the portal, because there's a really good culture going on here. It's my turn. I'm up next. I've been sitting on the bench for a long time. I didn't have an opportunity. Now, that being said, would I be surprised if Dwayne Aristode wasn't on the team next year? Not necessarily.
Right.
He fits that description to a T, because everybody has their own unique individual goals and they have their own dreams, and some systems don't work great for others, for some players. Doesn't mean that, Henry Vasar didn't want to be in Tucson. It just meant that he didn't want to compete with Mo, and there was maybe opportunity in Chapel Hill. Like, there's a lot of reasoning behind this. No, I am not surprised that Arizona doesn't have any names in the portal, and I would not be surprised to see multiple names in the portal before it closes. Remember, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're leaving the school just because you put your name in the portal. It just means that you're opening up the opportunity to talk to other faculty members of other universities and to get that process started.
So here we go. It is the portal era. It's been open for the ladies since Monday because their championship closed on Sunday, I should say, with the winning of the title by the UCLA Bruins. So there, by current setup, you had the Big Ten has now won the college football national championship, the men's and women's college basketball national championships with Indiana, Michigan, and UCLA, although it still pains me to say that they think that grouping them into that lot of being Big Ten, but that's where they are. That conference has now taken the three top major sports through this portion of the year. I don't remember who won the volleyball championship. I do not believe it was a Big Ten team.
Texas?
Yeah, it might have been Texas. Yeah, I think it might have been somebody. I know, I don't think it was Pitt either. I know they've had some strong number. It wasn't Nebraska, I remember, because Nebraska obviously was favorite.
A&M.
A&M. So Texas A&M?
Yeah, A&M.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go.
They beat Kentucky.
Yes, all right.
To win their first.
All right. So SEC won that. Traditionally what I like to call the Big Six: football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and softball. So the Big Ten has won 3 of those 4.
How many numbers would it take to get to crew?
How many members?
How many numbers?
Numbers.
If it's Big Six for those sports, where does crew fall into that?
Oh, gosh. Probably,
100 years ago, it would have been top 10.
How many sanctions in NCAA sports are there? Like 40? I think there's probably close to 40 actual sports. I would think crew is probably in the bottom 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's all Ivy League, right?
Well, no, not that. I mean, Washington, I think, has a pretty good crew team. If I remember correctly, I think Washington, because they got lakes up there. Any place where there's lakes, you're probably going to have some crew going on.
You know who's got a lot of lakes?
Who's that?
Big Ten.
Yeah, they do. They do. I'm trying to remember who else on the western side of the world does well with crew. And we know who does well with skiing. That's usually the University of Denver.
Denver, yeah, always.
Utah. Those schools right there. What's the other one? Field hockey. We never had, like, some of these are sports, like, you think about, like, I can remember we had field hockey. We had a field hockey team in junior high when I lived in Ohio, but we did not have a field hockey team in high school when I moved to Illinois. And I'm trying to, I'm imagining that there are high schools that field hockey as a sport for girls on the high school.
Here are the most obscure. You ready?
Yeah.
Rifles. Rifle events. 28 universities field rifle events.
Okay.
Yeah. Equestrian. Timber sports.
Timber
That's like
sports.
back
Is
in
that
the
like
early
chopping
day
down trees?
Yeah, I remember back in the early.
Are we talking about like current sports or legacy sports now?
These are the most obscure NCAA sanctioned collegiate level sports.
Okay.
Yeah, squash and rowing. Yeah, fencing. Just your typical stuff that was popular in the 1800s and not so much since we've invented video games.
There you go. DK on the Sports Tip, 1 hour in the books. 2 more hours to go with you. 520-848-1290 is the number. We'll get into the Diamondbacks. They had an early game today on their road trip, and a whole lot more. We'll get you up to date on everything. You know, well, I'll leave what I want to say next for the next hour. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions reported Skyline and Orange Grove, a hit and run, Orange Grove and Skyline, and another hit and run, Calle Concordia near Oracle, west of Oracle on Calle Concordia. And some busy travel, Broadway and Campbell and Broadway Boulevard. 62 the overnight low, 93 mostly sunny tomorrow, and 92 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
In Tucson, a lot of people make their living on construction sites, on the road, or working in warehouses across town. If you're injured at work, you have rights. Call 520-567-8000. Cruz & Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
This report is sponsored by My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Never wait to see your family doctor again. At My Doctor Now, you don't need to take time off work or even schedule ahead. Open 7 days a week. It's your family doctor. Available same day, every day, guaranteed. Go to My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Hey, did you hear about that multi-billion-dollar Roundup settlement?
Yeah, it impacts people who are exposed to weed killers at work or at home, even if you just used it in your own yard. Lawsuits claim it causes non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a blood cancer.
But we're not sick, so that doesn't affect us.
But it does. This cancer can take 10 to 15 years to show up.
That's a long time after exposure.
It is, and that's why the settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you get sick, even years from now, you could get $6,000 to $165,000 or more as part of this settlement.
So what's the catch?
If you stay in, you give up the right to sue them later.
Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 1-888-403-8201. If you or a loved one has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, even if they've passed, you must register for benefits. That's weedkillerclass.com. 1-888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. We've been proud corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics for nearly 6 decades, and we've seen a lot of the Wildcat Championship drives. We're also proud to be the locals' choice for tires and automotive repair. Our 14 award-winning locations have helped thousands of Arizonans get to and from work, home, school, and every other desert destination since 1960. At Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, we know the difference in your next winning drive might come down to a split-second decision behind the wheel, a single defensive stop, or an amazing fast break down the lane. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to give you and your vehicle the assist you need with the most affordable tires and guaranteed quality automotive repairs, backed by our Arizona-proof protection to make sure you have a winning drive every day. Find out more at jackfurriers.com, or you can call ahead, make an appointment online, or just stop by today. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Prepare yourself. Something extraordinary is about to break loose right in the center of town. Get ready for Casino del Sol. Bigger, brighter, bolder. We are where excitement doesn't just rise, it erupts. We are where fun doesn't just elevate, it takes flight. We aren't just a casino. We are the beginning of a new era. We are Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
Wow, this is bad.
Oh no, how bad? When will my AC be fixed?
I don't know. It's your flux capacitor. They don't make them anymore. Special order. Couple grand easy.
Oh my God, what?
Don't get air-conned into paying for shoddy service and stuff you don't need. Put Goodfellas on the job. Goodfellas AC will repair or install your AC the right way the first time. You'll know up front exactly what it'll cost and how long it'll take. No surprises and free second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media Station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. We are your home for Arizona Athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, basketball season has ended for the University of Arizona with last week's trip to the Final Four. It was a late night, Monday night, much like Saturday night was a late night, even later, obviously, because of the celebration on the floor. What's kind of cool is it's the second time I've been to a Final Four and had a chance to just kind of walk around on near the floor during the celebration part of it, when the teams are down there and their families are down there and they're cutting down the nets, and then they play one shining moment and getting a chance to see some of the players. And Daymar was draped in the national flag of Spain, and just cool to see some of the emotion of the event, even though obviously it was not the Wildcats playing as we all had hoped that it would be.
Yeah, Pau had some thoughts, right?
Oh, Pau Gasol did.
Yeah, because that was the first Spanish-born player to win a national championship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why there's a lot of national pride. I mean, Spain has been great the last 25 years on the international scene. I mean, some amazingly, we know about the Gasol brothers, but there's a lot of great Spanish-born players who have made it to the NBA. Some have only been here for 2 or 3 years. Who was it? Rudy Fernandez. A lot of people thought really highly of him with the Blazers. He didn't last too long, but man, they are great internationally. And yeah, Pau and Mark were very excited to see the Michigan Wolverines cut the nets down.
There was a lot of U of A alums who were in Indianapolis. Among those, it was. I think they had it, and we'll get some more details on this. But they had a little thing the night before the championship game, or the night before the semifinal game, where a lot of the ex-players were there with the team. I know I saw Rondé Hollis-Jefferson was there. Fendi Onabon was there. Some guys that maybe you don't normally see. Kevin Parham was there. Yeah, I mean, obviously you have the usual suspects that are always around, and you see at games here on the West Coast of guys that live out here. But good to see some guys that maybe we haven't necessarily traditionally see. Of course, Gronk was in the crowd at the game as well, wearing his Cardinal and Navy. So a lot of people obviously recognizing him when they showed him on the big screen, the big screen. I mean, it was huge. It was an NFL stadium for sure. So it was good to see those folks out supporting the Arizona Wildcats during this run to the Final Four, first time in 21 years. But the thing that I always think about is, like, I get back and then I'm like, start thinking about, okay, what's next? Besides taking a week off. But it's like, I feel like we've, especially in these seasons, and there haven't been many of them, but still, even a season where the Wildcats men's basketball team gets to the Sweet 16 of the ladies, I feel like, by the time we get past the basketball season actually ending, we've completely missed like the spring sports season here at the University of Arizona. And I love all the sports at the University of Arizona. I enjoy covering all of our student athletes. And so I look up and it's like there's no more. Like the women's tennis team has already played like all their home games. There's none left.
Yeah.
Dang, I can't go out to a women's tennis match because there are none left to go to now. And then they've won, and shout out to Ryan Stotland and they've won 7 in a row. They're doing really, really well this year. Is the women's tennis team. I don't know. I look because I saw over the weekend, I was like, they had senior day, and I'm like, crap. I was like, I didn't even get to see the match this year.
To be fair, I think the Big 12 schedule has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Thursday, Saturday, you come back Monday, you got a really clean wrap-up of what's gone on around campus, right? But this year, it was a lot of Monday games and a lot of Tuesday games, meaning we didn't have a lot of afternoon shows on the Monday following a weekend where there were big events on campus for the U of A. Got right into basketball pregame and postgame. And, listeners should know, once football starts, it's not until basketball ends that we're not, putting 12 hours on game days and that whole thing. So a breath is good, I think, for the team, for the players. Take a step back, get some perspective. I'm sure Coach Lloyd and his staff are out on the trail looking at transfer portal guys and recruits potentially for 2-3 years down the road.
Yeah, there's no breath for them.
No, they don't get a chance. I mean, that's why they get paid the big bucks, DK. I think the rest of us who are peripherally involved in the basketball team, I think it's nice to kind of take a little bit of a step back and just appreciate, what a great season it was, both the football side and men's basketball thing, because they overlap for us. Right? Football bleeds into basketball, and there's at least 3 weekends where we're doing both football and basketball. So it's like, the first football kickoff to the last basketball buzzer is kind of our pre and post game season. So yeah, it'll be nice to kind of get away from that for a little bit, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with, the softball team. Obviously, hopefully the baseball team can turn things around, and all of the news and notes that we get from this time of year, because the closing of the school year just means preparation for the start of the next one.
There is one men's tennis event left. That'll be Thursday. So I imagine, I don't know if they've done senior day or not, but it'll be the final home match, and that'll be against UCF. The fellas are 6-0 in the Big 12, so they've got a chance to wrap up the title with a win. TCU and Baylor are both 5-1. Behind U of A's men's tennis. And I know we beat TCU, the men did, and I'm pretty sure they knocked off Baylor. Well, they haven't lost a match, but I don't know if they played Baylor this year. They did beat TCU, but I don't think they've played Baylor, and they don't have Baylor on the schedule this year. So the match against UCF, and then they'll go and finish out the season on Sunday, the regular season, at Oklahoma State. So a chance to at least clinch a tie for the conference championship for the men. That'll be coming up on Thursday. So get out to the road. That's tomorrow. I see. I still don't even know what day it is as I return from the Final Four. So that's tomorrow. Get on out and support the fellas. The ladies are in 5th place right now in conference at 8-3. Wow, they've played 11. They play more matches because because of Title IX. There's more women's tennis teams in the Big 12 than there are men's. So they've played 11 conference matches. They're 8-3, but they're only 1 behind the leaders. There's 3 teams at 9-2. TCU, UCF, and ASU are all 9-2. ASU's won 7 in a row. Arizona has also, I mentioned, won 7 in a row in conference play. So it looks like the ladies are on their way back to the NCAA tournament as well. Arizona softball, they're in the middle of literally a month-long trek on the road. They have 3 straight weekend road series. They're going to LSU in a non-conference weekend coming up this particular weekend. So that'll be something different, but a tough test for them. They are 11-4, 3 games behind Texas Tech. Texas Tech has the stranglehold right now in the Big 12 on the softball side. They are 14-1. You mentioned, J-Dub, some of the obscure sports that are sanctioned by the NCAA. 2 of those are lacrosse and equestrian, which are sports that are played in the Big 12. Did you know that?
I mean, equestrian makes sense. There's a lot of equestrian states in the Big 12. Yeah, I mean, lacrosse is one of the oldest sports, isn't it? Been around
I would
for a
imagine,
minute.
yeah. There are 6 teams that are, quote, in the Big 12 for lacrosse. Not all of them are Big 12 teams. There's a mix. Can you name one of those teams?
That isn't a member of the Big 12 that plays lacrosse for the Big 12?
Just name one, period.
I'll say Rice.
Rice is not one of those, no.
If we're talking about teams that play lacrosse in the Big 12 but are not members.
Member. It can be a member or a non-member. Yeah.
Let's see. Who plays lacrosse in the Big 12? Yeah. I would go with, let's see. It's not Iowa State, and it's not. Let's do the teams that it isn't. I wouldn't be surprised if it maybe one of the Kansas schools did.
Neither of the Kansas schools plays lacrosse. No. I'll give these to you. One of them is surprising. Florida is in the Big 12 for lacrosse. They are, in fact, in first place.
Interesting.
Yeah. Florida, Colorado, Arizona State, Cincinnati, San Diego State, and UC Davis. Those are the 6 teams that play lacrosse. There are 4 teams that play equestrian. Can you say, does that even sound right? You play equestrian?
I think you do equestrian.
You do equestrian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I think it's got to be the Texas. Texas has a lot of horses.
Okay.
There's my logic.
Okay, so there are two of the 4 are from Texas. Can you name which 2 or which one? Give me one of the 2 Texas.
Houston. Let's see. Equestrian is Houston and I don't know. Kansas.
No, well, Kansas is not from Texas.
Yeah, I know that part. I'm trying to guess the other 2 teams that are in the Big 12 that play equestrian.
There's 3 traditional Big 12 teams that do equestrian and 1 non.
Yeah, I have no idea.
12. Okay. TCU and Baylor.
Believe it or not, listeners, I don't have equestrian viewership posters up on my bedroom walls that I study every day now.
TCU and Baylor are the 2 Texas teams. Oklahoma State is the other school. Fresno State is the 4th school in the Big 12. Yeah.
Fresno State doesn't strike me as an equestrian school.
It's kind of, to be quite honest with you, I used to live in the San Joaquin Valley, which is where Fresno is, and it is it's very much country. It's very much like the middle of California.
Oh, there's a lot of country in California, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's very much a country, a lot of crops, a lot of things like that. So there's a lot you can drive less than a half an hour and see plenty of horses in Central California.
A lot of people mad about endangered fishes in that part of the world.
While we're at it, before we get to our fine friend cricket, rowing is another one here. Let's see who does rowing or who plays rowing.
I don't think anybody in Arizona is playing rowing.
I like playing rowing much. I don't think they're going to give me this standings on this one here. We might have to come back to that one because the schools don't pop.
It's Princeton, Yale, Dartmouth, and
in the Big 12.
Yeah, no. Just as far as the crewing, those are the schools I think of.
Yeah, those are the ones. Yeah, those are good schools. Those are good schools, Scott. Yeah, I'd have to look this up because I don't.
I wonder when the last time cricket was in a boat rowing was.
Yeah, cricket. When was the last time you were in a boat rowing?
This guy that I used to date, he had this terrible boat, and he took us to
nothing worse than dating a boat guy.
It's a boat guy. Oh yeah.
What classifies a terrible boat?
Just it always
the kind of
broke
boat,
down.
Like the kind of boat you don't want to hang out on.
If you get into it and you're fearful of sinking, it's a terrible boat.
I had no idea. I don't know a lot about boats. I feel like I know a little bit more about cars, but I thought this guy was in the Navy for like 30 years. I'm totally safe on this boat. We were so stuck in the middle of like Apache Lake.
Oh my gosh.
And I learned that I don't know a lot about water or boats, but like I had to like steer the boat, like rowing kind of like.
You had to steer it?
Yeah, like and everyone else is paddling like from the front. He's like, you got this. You get in the back and you turn us this direction. And you paddle this way to turn us that way. I'm thinking, what are you doing? He was like doing nothing. He was like telling all of us what to do, trying to row our boat back to. It was, I didn't go out.
He didn't stick around very long.
Well, I didn't go out on that boat ever again. Yeah, that's why we broke up. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, man. Cricket's bad rowing date.
It was bad, man.
I haven't, we always joke because, like, my wife, she has a few boat friends back in Ohio because obviously we have a huge lake. So she has some boat friends, but we've never actually been out on any of those boat friends' boats before. So, like, I have no boat friends whatsoever. Although I have an ex-boss who apparently he had a boat, and so what he does now, as I understand it, because he's one of the many unfortunate people who've gotten purged from our business every time they decide they want to lay folks off.
Oh.
But he owned a boat, so he just started his own like thing where he takes people out on the lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he'll do sightseeing tours and take people out and that kind of thing. And you can have dinner on his boat, or you can just go out for a ride and see, look at the buildings and downtown and all of that kind of thing. Go out on the lake. Yeah. So he does that now. I imagine, I don't know how much money he makes, but good on that. You got to take what you have and make life out of it, right?
I bet his boat doesn't break down a lot.
I bet his girlfriend didn't break up with his stupid boat.
Because his dumb boat.
Dumb boat.
Oh, that boat. Gosh.
Do you want to say what his name was? No. Not his full name. What was his first name?
Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
Michael's dumb boat.
This dumb boat. I forget what the name of the boat was. Must not have been too great.
Maybe he needed a quote for his boat.
He needed needed
Boat
something for his
His
boat.
boat quote. Cricket's got quotes. Oh,
I got a cool bucket.
Cricket's got a bucket.
Well, we're on a budget.
That looks like a beer bucket.
It is. Well, it is. I almost dropped it.
It's a U of A beer bucket.
It's brand new. It's
Okay.
never been.
Did you take that out of the closet in the back?
I asked if I could, but see, I got some quotes.
Riley's like
there.
walking around. Where's my bucket?
Where's my bucket? I asked her, and she said, "Oh, please use it because those are just sitting back there collecting dust." And I love it because it's got the. I'm really bad with this camera. It's got the U of A logo.
Yeah.
And it's Born in the Rockies, Coors Light.
It kind of looks like, doesn't it, Jada, doesn't kind of have the Territorial Cup look to it?
A little bit. It needs to be a little rustier.
It's like a Territorial Cup bucket.
The shape, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice, though, because you could have your six-pack and your quote.
And I could have my
and those
quotes.
go really well together.
That was what I was thinking for Fridays.
Six-pack and quotes.
Yep.
That's the play of the day there.
Dun dun dun.
All right, what do we got today, Cricket? What are you going to enlighten us upon today?
Well, let's see if we can enlighten.
Okay.
This is for
Please.
just because of the Artemis 2 crew and that whole thing. I found this. It's old. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Do you know who said that?
Well, Dragon Ball's not here, so.
That was said in
Dragon Ball, call in and tell us who said that.
Who said that?
That was JFK, right?
Yes, 1962 at Rice University.
Did you know that?
That was a famous.
Are you telling him the answers so he knows that?
No, that was a really
That was
famous.
a very famous speech.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Just like all the other ones.
I missed history class because I don't know any of these. Like, I know none of them.
Well, here's the context. Like, what speech would you give about choosing to go to the moon?
Oh.
It's when your critics are saying, why are you spending all this money to go to the moon when you can't feed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
What are you thinking?
It had to be a political leader at the time when America went to the moon.
I think if he was still, I think he'd be really proud of what the space program is doing today.
It's interesting because in fact, come back at 5:12 because I was thinking about that on my trip back yesterday, the whole Artemis thing and where we are in the space game, and I want to get your guys' opinions on that.
Okay.
So we'll have you back at 5:12. We'll talk about that.
All right.
520-848-1290. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
And from the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Valencia and Cold Road in Valencia, Park in Ajo and Park Avenue slowdowns for both directions on Ajo Way at Park Avenue. Other areas that are busy, westbound Ajo at Mission, on Alvernon at Grant, and also on Swan at Grant. 62, the overnight low 93, and mostly sunny tomorrow and 92 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Never wait to see your family doctor again. And My Doctor Now, you don't need to take time off work or even schedule ahead. Open 7 days a week. It's your family doctor. Available same day, every day, guaranteed. Go to My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
The Cup is coming home.
Firing, caught. Touchdown, Arizona. Braden Stooks picks it off, takes it right away. The Cats win the Cup. They win their 9th game of the season, and they do it emphatically.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-506-5803. 800-506-5803. Don't wait. Call now. 800-506-5803. 800-506-5803.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
My gosh, Ted, why are you digging up the yard?
I'm looking for that stupid pipe. The bathroom drain is still clogged.
Shouldn't we call Goodfellas AC and Plumbing? You know, the professionals.
I found the pipe.
Whatever clogs your drains, leave it to the professionals at Goodfellas AC and Plumbing. The choice your family can count on for quick, reliable plumbing service using Permaliner to fix pipes and drains without digging up the yard. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best, just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100. Or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Cal Ranch is here to save you money. We've lowered prices store-wide to get you the work gear and farm, home, and ranch essentials you need for less. You'll be surprised at the savings you find on workwear, pet food, animal feed, power tools, lawn and garden supplies, and much more. Come see the savings at your local Cal Ranch or shop online at calranch.com. Plus, if you find a lower advertised price on an identical product from a competitor, we'll match their price. We're committed to saving our customers money by having the best prices every day here at Cal Ranch.
We're your Cal Ranch store, a ranch and home store, and so much more.
Shop today at your local Cal Ranch store.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Love to hear from you on this Wednesday. So we'll have a full show today, full show tomorrow, 1 hour show on Friday because Arizona baseball is in the Central Time Zone. And we are back to baseball broadcasts this week.
Yeah, one guy who doesn't get a day off is Brian
Jeffries. Yeah. He'll be back out on the road with the Cats. They'll take on TCU. First game of that series will begin at 4 o'clock our time. And, of course, we will have that for you right here. Okay, so let's go back to rowing real quick.
I don't think TCU is a school that would have a rowing team.
Rowing, TCU is not one of those schools. No. There are, let's see. So for the rowing, there are 4 traditional Big 12 schools and 2 non-traditional Big 12 schools. One of which you probably wouldn't expect to be in the Big 12. It's it's one of those Eastern-based historic universities.
So all of them.
But not like Yale or not. It's not an Ivy League.
I just mean like the East Coast universities are all a good 30 years older than most West Coast universities, right?
Yeah, you want to name the one of the 4 traditional Big 12 schools?
I mean, when you say East Coast, I don't think of...
It's called rowing, but it's known as crew.
Crew, yeah. When you say East Coast, I don't think of any of the ACC states as East Coast. I think of like everything north of Virginia.
Right.
Boston College.
Boston College is a good guess, but not correct. No. Old Dominion.
ODU.
ODU is the one, or the Eastern non-Big 12, traditional Big 12. The other one is Tulsa. Tulsa is in Big 12 rowing. That would make sense because they're in the footprint. The traditionals are Kansas, Kansas State, UCF, and West Virginia. Those are the 4 traditionals that do crew.
Well, you think of West Virginia, you kind of think of a guy with a raccoon on his head with an old like skin canoe, right? Like those kind of things. That's a big
isn't
West.
That what it is?
That's like a big West Virginia pastime, isn't it?
Isn't like crew? Isn't like a big skin canoe?
Pretty much, yeah.
That can fit 8 people.
I've never been in something like. I've been in a lot of kayaks. Like I've been in 2-people kayaks for weeks on end, but I've never been in a big like 8-person crew like that. Or I don't even know how many there are. There's like 3 per side, and then there's a guy yelling commands, right?
Well, yeah. What do they call that? They call that the locksman or something, or is it the coxswain or something of that nature?
Yeah. I'm not going to say it because it's a dangerous word to say on the radio.
As long as you say it correctly, you're okay.
No, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's like, it's so funny to me because even our grandparents and great-grandparents were all about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that seemed like such a big... I mean, no disrespect to boxing fans out there, but it feels like boxing, even when I was growing up, was so big, and now it's not, right? And crew is obviously, you go back another 100 years, but you see all these pictures of, tens of thousands of people lining, the shores to watch these big events, and I don't know. Maybe I just didn't grow up in a place that had that kind of energy. I know it's huge in the Northeast. I know that.
Of the, it's huge in the north. But there are, like I mentioned, Cal has crew. Washington has been one of the, I think they were probably the dominant program.
Yeah.
Oregon State has done it. Oregon State, Washington State, Gonzaga.
Yeah, Corvallis has some water.
We talk about some of the schools from the west side of the planet that do it. So, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting sport for sure. And obviously one that the Ivy League schools dominate. Do you want to venture to guess which of the Ivy League schools is the best at it?
How about one that you didn't expect, like Brown?
Brown would be in the top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think of Princeton and Cornell and those.
Princeton
kind of
would be top 2.
Yeah,
or number 2. Yale.
Yale. Yale's the obvious choice.
If you're a Yale grad here in Southern Arizona and you were on the crew team, This is your opportunity.
Hey.
This might be the only opportunity you get. 520.
That's a fun Venn diagram to think about. Like the people who competed for the Yale crew team that live in Tucson. We want to hear from you.
I know there's a retired Yale crewster. Is that what can we call them crewsters?
They can play crew. They can be crewsters. We can make up any words we want.
Rowers, crewsters. What's the correct term? If you were on the Yale crew team and you live in Southern Arizona, 520-848-1290. This is your one chance to get on this program and talk about your sport, because I don't know that we'll ever address this again.
Oarsman.
Is that the word?
Oarsman.
And what about women? Oarswomen?
Oarswomen.
Okay.
It's oarsmen / oarswomen. Yes.
Oh, man. Fun stuff.
Who gets the job to sit back there with the bullhorn? Like, how do you try out for that?
Yeah,
DK?
that.
Like, you have to have
It's funny you said that, because it's funny you asked that question, because we had, I don't know if we had competitive crew when I was in school at USC, but I always thought that would be a cool job to be the person that sits up at the front of the. I mean, I could never swim, so it wasn't anything I ever wanted to try to do. But I thought that would be the cool job, would be the person that does the yelling.
I'm joking, but I've always equated it to a DJ, right? Like if you're in that role, DK, it's just rhythm. Your whole job is to keep everybody on the same rhythm. So, I mean, it's definitely the most important job. But I just think it's funny because you think of those early mornings, they're out there at like 3 a.m. and like fog is rising off of the creek, and some guys out there barking orders into a little like plastic tube, right? But yeah, I mean, I would hope they would switch it up every once in a while, right? Like kind of an umpire crew, everybody gets a turn behind the plate. But nope, one person's job is to just bark the orders.
When I used to work in Cleveland, and I don't know that the team was Cleveland State or whatever, but like I did overnight news, and the building, the original building we worked in was right downtown, and it overlooked the backside of the building had a conference room that overlooked the Cuyahoga River, and like I would do overnight news, and so sometimes when I was done with my anchor shift at like 6 a.m, I'd go take a break in the conference room, and I would see the crew people. They would be getting ready to go out there and practice.
Yeah.
Out on the Cuyahoga River at 6 a.m. That was when they would practice. Currently, if you were interested, Stanford is number 1. Texas is number 2. Texas, of course, they're good at everything.
It's all the NIL crew money they got to throw around, right?
Yale 3, Tennessee 4, Washington 5. Princeton, Virginia, Syracuse, Brown, and Cal round out your top 10.
How much is a good oarsman going for on the portal market these days, you think?
I have no idea. That would be funny. I have no idea. But if there's money in it, then you should teach your kid how to do it.
I think actually, like, again, totally joking, but you think about, unique kind of fringe sports like that are perfect for marketing small companies that sell oars or sell boats, right? I mean, there's a very niche market to those athletes representing that sport itself, much like collegiate golfers representing a certain glove or a certain bag or a certain driver, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if the oarsmen at Brown probably didn't have to eat ramen. That's my guess.
520-848-1290 again is the number to get in on the program. All right, coming up, we'll wait and do this in our neck. We're coming up. We'll have our Westwood One top plays for you, and we'll review what happened over the weekend. We got a lot of losing plays, as you can imagine, because we went with a lot of these that they gave us from Westwood One and whatnot. But we'll get into all of that. Also, the big talk of the early part of the baseball season has been the ABS system. We haven't gotten into this at all yet because obviously we've been focused a lot on basketball.
We're only 10 games into a 180-game season. I think we're not too far behind.
No, we're not. But we'll get into the whole thing with ABS because it has been the talk of Major League Baseball in this early part of the year. Umpires being called out and whatnot. And as somebody that umpired not nearly at the level that Major League or even college people umpired at, but I do have an opinion on it, and I'll share with you what that opinion is for sure. All right.
Couldn't they come up with a better acronym?
Automatic balls and strikes.
Automatic braking system is ABS for cars. It's been like that for
is that right?
Yeah, like since the 1960s, right, or 70s.
I think they're just trying to keep it simple. Yeah. ABS, automatic balls and strikes. And did a team tank last night in the NBA? We'll get into that.
Well,
as well.
They did and they didn't.
Oh, there's a lot of teams doing that.
Though that's the news story that came out, is that it was just a tactical error and that they didn't really mean to do that.
A tactical error.
That's what they are trying to claim today, yeah.
Is that like, what's the one I'm thinking of? Oh, is that like what happened with, who was the college team that they'd had only 4, Miami of Ohio? They only had 4 guys on the court during the game they lost in the NCAA tournament. Was that a tactical error?
That was a simple mathematical error, I think. Yeah.
A brain fart. The Masters is this weekend. We can dive into that. Tiger won't be there. He's in rehab or whatever he's doing to try to
He's somewhere in Europe, isn't he?
Better. Oh, is that he had to go to Europe to get away?
I mean, isn't that where everybody goes? Luka went to Europe to get his hamstring fixed. I think I read that Tiger.
Did Luka go to? Was that a hamstring thing, or did they? Then I thought I heard somebody say he was having a baby. Not he was, but his significant other was having a baby.
I think he did recently. Didn't he have a kid recently?
Yeah, might have been recently.
I didn't know. It's just that whole thing. Like, it's just, you hear those weird stories about athletes going to Europe to get treatment, and I always think to myself, well, clearly, there's not FDA approval on whatever it is that they're getting done. Otherwise, why would you fly from Los Angeles to Europe to get treatment done, right?
Exactly. And do you have to get tested upon coming back from Europe after treatment?
Yes, double tested. I think that's how that works.
So we're coming down to the end of the NBA season, getting ready for the playoffs, hockey as well. We can dive into all that. The Roadrunners have some work to do if they want to get into their postseason.
They did.
And the Sugar Skulls are already playing football. How about that? I think they've played twice already. We'll have to kind of start to figure out what's going on with your Sugar Skulls. I think they won a game and lost a game so far early on.
Roadrunners news yesterday, right? New lease.
New at the arena.
Yeah, they signed a new lease through like 28.
All right,
I think something like that.
Well, that's good.
29.
All right, so the parent club is not trying to move them.
Yeah, that came out yesterday.
Okay, well, very good. We'll get our guy Bob Hoffman on later in the week and talk about that. We've got big time racing coming up at the Tucson Speedway this weekend, so there's a lot of good stuff happening that we can dive.
You got to fit it all in before 110-degree temps hit, right?
Yeah, either that or vacation week hits. Which I
just mean like in the old Pueblo. In the old Pueblo, it's all crammed into like a month in November, a month in the fall, and then like right after everybody, has some time in the spring and before it gets too hot.
520-848-1290, DK on the sports tip. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Valencia and Kolb Road in Valencia. Park in Ajo and Park Avenue. Got some slowing on mild slowing eastbound I-10 near Park, and some mild westbound I-10 slowing near Alvernon. 62 the overnight low, 93, mostly sunny tomorrow, and 91 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Never wait to see your family doctor again. And My Doctor Now, you don't need to take time off work or even schedule ahead. Open 7 days a week. It's your family doctor. Available same day, every day, guaranteed. Go to My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
It's DK on the sports tip. Did you hear what we were talking about? The kids who actually have the money to go out there and play tennis. Why haven't we produced any of them? DK on the sports tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hi, Flo here to say that Progressive knows that life can change quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, like when I have to take my ex off my policy.
Oh, sorry. But yes, we can do that.
And can you send them a message and tell them that they have trust issues that they need to work on?
We don't really get in the middle of these conflicts.
Also, can you let them know that I was faking interest in his band and it's probably time to grow up?
I'm not going to do it. Just know that with Progressive, you can easily make changes to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Also, I'm staying in touch with his mom because she's absolutely lovely.
Bad idea.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. We've been proud corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics for nearly 6 decades, and we've seen a lot of the Wildcat Championship drives. We're also proud to be the locals' choice for tires and automotive repair. Our 14 award-winning locations have helped thousands of Arizonans get to and from work, home, school, and every other desert destination since 1960. At Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, we know the difference in your next winning drive might come down to a split-second decision behind the wheel, a single defensive stop, or an amazing fast break down the lane. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to give you and your vehicle the assist you need with the most affordable tires and guaranteed quality automotive repairs, backed by our Arizona-proof protection, to make sure you have a winning drive every day. Find out more at jackfurriers.com, or you can call ahead, make an appointment online, or just stop by today. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Softball and baseball season has arrived in Tucson, and tickets are on sale now. From the greatest setting in softball at Hillenbrand Stadium to the dingers into the Tucson sunset at High Corbett, you won't want to miss any of the action this season. Tell a friend, bring the kids, and spend your evenings at the yard, as the Wildcats are sure to put on a show. Get your tickets now by calling 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/tickets. Bear down.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought, this AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Up to a 30% upfront bonus and 12% per year guaranteed growth for retirement. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and these are the highest guarantees with annuities I have seen in my life. When interest rates are this high, there are silver linings, and annuity guarantees are one of them. Up to a 30% bonus upfront for retirement income. On $100,000, that's up to $42,000 guaranteed in the first year. And it's because of the economy and its high interest rates. Don't let anyone, especially another financial advisor, tell you it's not true. Up to 30% upfront just for opening an account, and up to 12% per year guaranteed income growth. Don't miss out. This won't last forever. If you have an old 401k, get up to 30% upfront and 12% guaranteed growth for income today. Call 321-4100. That's 321-4100.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Tom Brady might have a more hands-on approach to the Raiders than we thought. The future Hall of Famer and minority owner of the Silver and Black attended the first day of the Raiders offseason program yesterday. It also happened to be the day that projected first overall pick Fernando Mendoza had his scheduled visit with the team. This is the best news for the Raiders. If Brady is going to be involved, he needs to take Mendoza under his wing if the Raiders are going to be successful. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
America, look around. Everywhere you go, prices are still high, rates have been whipsawing markets, and the debt and spending don't exactly scream stability. Experts say diversifying with intention is the #1 secret account that all American smart money uses to hedge against instability. Monetary Gold has been around since 2000, witnessing multiple economic setbacks. If you call now, Monetary Gold will cover up to a lifetime of your IRA fees on qualified accounts. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
It says in their name, hail to the victors. Tigers.
Smith. They have no timeouts remaining. Smith will bring it up the floor quickly. Smith on the drive to the rim. Missed the layup. Rebound loose. Scooped up by Gale. He'll throw it to the other end of the floor. Caravan tracks it down with 2 seconds. With 1, he throws it to half court. And since 1989, there's been a blank space in the Michigan Trophy case. Will write their name. Michigan, the 2026 men's basketball national champions. They knock off UConn 69-63 to win the school's second men's basketball championship.
All right, Michigan, your title winners on Monday night at the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. But we did get one win over the weekend. We took UConn plus the 6.5 points. It's funny. I'm watching that game at the end, and I'm thinking, man, this game is going from 5. It was up in double digits, and I'm like, they're going to cover, and then it got down, and I'm like, and then it was like 5, 7, 4. I think it got down to 4 at one point, and it was like back up to 8, and it was like all over the line. But it finally came in at 6, and so we did get a win off of that one right there. UConn plus 6.5 over Michigan, courtesy of Pat Boyle's pick from last week. We lost a lot of these because if you'll remember when we discussed this Friday, they all loved Arizona. Like the entire staff, I think, out at Westwood One loved Arizona, and they also all loved Illinois, which, as you can imagine, did not work out well on the betting side. So these were the ones we lost over there because, again, I think we kept a lot of these because I liked Illinois. I thought Illinois was going to beat Connecticut as well. We had Illinois minus the points over Connecticut. It wasn't a lot of points. I think it was like 3 or 4, but we obviously lost that one. We had Illinois on the money line over Connecticut. We lost that one. We had Connecticut. They liked Connecticut under 60.5 points, total points in the game, in the semifinal game, because Illinois had such a good defense. They were a very good team in defending the 3. U of A's effective field goal percentage was one of the worst since the beginning of March in college teams played in basketball after March at 157 overall, but they scored 71. So Connecticut hit the over on their total points for that game, so we lost on that one as well. Both Nick Costos and Pat Boyle liked Arizona over Michigan. Nick Costos said pick Arizona and Illinois. Now you know why we've been flipping these guys so much for the last cycle here. The one win we did get, another one we did get was Brad Evans said Arizona and Michigan take the over, which we all did on our Beat the Book segment during the pregame show. We took the over. That came in at 164. So we did win on Arizona, Michigan, the over in that game. And we also won on UConn plus 6.5 over Michigan. Everything else, though, we did lose on the other night. So there you have it. All right, let's find out what they have for you tonight. And then I think I've got a couple more for you as well. NBA thing coming up here.
I'm Pat Boyle, here to help you beat the books with Westwood One Sports. Thunder play the Clippers tonight in L.A., and I'm expecting defense to be the theme of the game. Meaningful game for both teams. OKC locks up the 1 seed with a win. Clippers fighting for play-in seeding, and both teams on a back-to-back. When OKC has no rest, the under has hit 7 out of 13 times. Even better, when the Clippers have a back-to-back, the under has hit 9 out of 14 times. And in the last 10 games, both teams are inside the top 8 in defensive efficiency. Defense! I like the under. I'm Pat Boyle. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
So the Thunder, as you heard Pat say, they can clinch the number 1 seed. They have a 3-game advantage over San Antonio, who's in the number 2 spot right now. The Thunder have won 6 games in a row. Clippers are actually only 2 games behind the Suns right now. I don't know if they can. Let's see. We're at what are we at? 79 games, so 3 games left for everybody to go. So they could potentially catch the Suns and flip themselves into the 7 and drop the Suns down to the 8. And then the Suns would play Portland. Right now it's Suns, Clippers, Portland, and Golden State. So right now the Suns have to play the Warriors in that play-in round. I don't know if I want to play Golden State in anything with their history. But
they're pretty old.
Yeah, they're 5 games under 500, so not quite the same as they used to be. So that's where it stands right now. So he says take the under. The under is 224.5 tonight at the BetMGM. So if you're betting that locally out at the Casino del Sol, minus 105 right now is the play. So 1290 gets you back 1239 if the Thunder and Clippers come in at under 224 points and 224.5 points tonight. All right. Also, we have a baseball play for a game I think that's starting right now for you. I was today's years old when I realized that Framber Valdez no longer plays for the Houston Astros. I have not necessarily been paying that close of attention. Framber Valdez, who was the ace of those Astros staffs for the last 7 years, I think he was there, is now a Detroit Tiger, is Framber Valdez. He starts tonight for the Tigers. I believe they're playing the Twins, but the play is over 5.5 strikeouts. So you need Framber Valdez to get to 6 strikeouts tonight at minus 105. Again, at minus 105, your 1290 bet brings you back $12.39. Framber Valdez, now a Detroit Tiger, no longer a Houston Astro.
Over 5.5, you said?
Over 5.5 for Framber Valdez.
So he's got 2 starts, and he's got 10 strikeouts, and he had 5 in both.
Oh, well, there you go. So maybe he's getting warmed up then, because he is a guy that's known to strike out a lot. Framber Valdez has been that one pitcher, I think maybe over the course of the last 5 or 6 years, where you felt like any night he's on the mound, he might be able to pitch a no-hitter. And there's not a lot of guys that I get that feeling with, and I'd love to hear if there's guys that you get that feeling with out there. 520-848-1290. If you feel like when this guy goes to the mound, I might see a no-hitter tonight. For me, that guy the last 6 years has been Framber Valdez. It just seemed like every night he went out there for the Astros, you had a chance to see something special from him. 2-time All-Star. Now, he's only pitched 1 no-hitter in his career, and that came 3 seasons ago in 2023. He's been very close on a number of different occasions. I would say, I don't know, I'd have to look at the total numbers. We'll ask Francisco Romero next time we talk to him. But I swear to God, it seems like he's probably taken about 8 or 10 games with a no-hitter into like the 7th or 8th inning. So like into those final 9 outs when you really have a shot to get it. Seems like he's always there. So Framber Valdez, for me, has always been that guy that I feel like has a chance to pitch a no-hitter every time he goes out.
1 out.
1 out.
So his only no-hitter was against the Guardians, and he was 1 out away against the Rangers and gave up a home run.
Yeah.
In 2024, last year, against Corey Seager.
There you go. Framber Valdez out of the Dominican Republic. All right.
How about Mr. Lopez? Is he close to a no-hitter anytime soon?
He's close to getting knocked out.
He's not going to be pitching for a while. That's what I hear.
Neither is Jorge Solera. He's good. I think they both got 7-game suspensions.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah,
the brawl in Anaheim last night. Did you see it? Would you like to hear the brawl in Anaheim last night? Well, let's hear the home run first that set things off.
So what actually set it off, DK, was not just 1 home run, but many home runs by Jorge Soler versus Ronaldo Lopez. This was not his first.
Jorge Soler, who is the club leader right now in runs batted in.
There's a drive out to the left field corner. Dubon's after it, but it's gone. Jorge Soler once again has torched Ronaldo Lopez.
I mean, those numbers are almost impossible to think how good they really are. That is his 5th career home run, 14 for 23, 10th RBI, 2nd home run.
5 home runs and 14 for 23 lifetime, DK.
Yeah.
14 for 23 lifetime.
This goes back to 2019 that these two guys have been facing each other. And, Jorge Soler has gotten the better of that relationship. So that home run led to what happened in the 3rd inning.
Yeah. This is a 3-parter, I think, here.
Oh, now Soler gets hit by a pitch. Detailed the success that Soler has had against Lopez.
It's another hit looked like on the hand again, which is the scariest one for a hitter.
So bottom of the 1st, he gets a home run. Bottom of the 3rd, that's a high and inside. It wasn't basically throwing at him, but it hit him right on the hands. That was the bottom of the third. And then there was another incident after that, DK, in which Soler basically he got a ball up and in like chin music type of thing.
It was back to the backstop because the catcher it was so thrown off, so he couldn't even get to it. It was so high.
Yeah, so that was followed by I don't know, was that a stolen base?
Yeah, stolen base.
Yeah,
correct.
So it was a wild pitch, stolen base, and that whole scenario played out. But then in the meanwhile, they were trying to figure out what they were trying to do with each other because of the history, and it was just a big mess.
Yeah, they were tripping.
Oh, now Soler gets hit by a pitch. Lopez fires one to the backstop. It's right back to Heim, who throws late to second base. Albies just missed the tag as Shallowell advances on a wild pitch. Here comes Soler going after Lopez. They square up, and Soler and Lopez are throwing haymakers. They're going after each other. Soler is finally tackled from behind as the Angels and Braves are all out onto the field. That came up out of nowhere. Soler was upset after a couple of pitches were high and in after he hit yet another homer off Lopez. And a fight broke out just out of thin air. Well, that's one way to settle your differences between Ronaldo Lopez and Jorge Soler. Well, that's the last time we're putting on hockey jerseys.
Yes.
Now, I mean, as a baseball purist as you are, we don't have a lot of time to get into this right now, but just a quick question. How do you feel about a guy who's 14 for 28 career lifetime with 5 home runs and the pitchers? I understand moving a guy back off the plate.
Yeah.
I understand that. I completely understand pitchers commanding the plate. But when it's an aftermath, like when you've given up a home run, DK, and the next few pitches are right at a guy's chin.
Well, you already hit him. So, I mean, once if the intent was to hit him, you did that. Now it's over. Now you go back to just pitching. He threw another one. The next at bat, he threw another one high into the backstop. It wasn't like near his head, but it was a pitch that clearly was not where it was supposed to be. The catcher not being able to
yeah, he sets out like low and away.
Being crossed up. Told you that was not where that pitch was supposed to be. So, I mean, that's Lopez needs to get a grip.
It's just like that balance between the unwritten baseball rules and that whole thing we talked about for years, decades, hundreds of years. That idea of, the payback and all of that, the unwritten baseball rules, but then relative to just a guy, an individual DK who's just had a run of really, really bad pitches versus an other individual player, right? And that's not team versus team. A lot of times it's you waited and watched your home run sail over the fence too long.
That's a me
and next
thing.
time you come up, it might be 2 months from now when we see you again, but we're not going to forget that. Next time we're going to remind you we didn't like it when you did that. That's two teams versus each other, right? That's the message between the two managers, the two dugouts. But this was different. This is just one individual who's just getting owned by another guy and just a little bit sour grapes about it all. I don't know. Also, the delay on the rushing the mound, right? That was a good minute or two before he made the decision.
Well, I think it was because during the whole thing, because I think they had to review. What happened was the stolen base, they reviewed it, so there was some time there, and I think it was during that part that they started chirping at each other.
Yeah,
so
Lopez said some things. Soler didn't like that.
Yeah.
Then he kind of. The other part about that was crazy was Ronaldo Lopez kept the ball in his hand the whole time. Did you see that?
Did you see the fight in Mexico where the guy had the ball and was hitting the other guy with the ball in his hand?
Lopez did. He hit him once with the ball in his hand, and I'm just thinking, is he waiting to rear back and fire that pitch at that dude's face? Why is he holding on to the ball? That doesn't make any sense.
No. Baseball is back, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been to a game, if you have some thoughts on that, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. We'll get into ABS as well in this next hour or so that we've got remaining with you, as well as get you set. The Suns play again tonight as they are down to the nitty-gritty of the regular season, getting ready for the play-in round, which is likely where they're going to be, just a matter of whether they're going to be the 7 or the 8 at this point. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. With collisions reported downtown, a crash at Toole and 6th Avenue and Toole Avenue. Collision clearing at Park and Ajo and Park Avenue. Some slowdowns both directions on Alvernon at Grant, also busy for traffic on Swan at Grant. 62 the overnight low, 93 mostly sunny tomorrow, and 90 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Never wait to see your family doctor again. At My Doctor Now, you don't need to take time off work or even schedule ahead. Open 7 days a week. It's your family doctor. Available same day, every day, guaranteed. Go to My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Hey, did you hear about that multi-billion-dollar Roundup settlement?
Yeah, it impacts people who are exposed to weed killers at work or at home, even if you just used it in your own yard. Lawsuits claim it causes non-Hodgkin lymphoma, a blood cancer.
But we're not sick, so that doesn't affect us.
But it does. This cancer can take 10 to 15 years to show up.
That's a long time after exposure.
It is, and that's why the settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you get sick, even years from now, you could get $6,000 to $165,000 or more as part of this settlement.
So what's the catch?
If you stay in, you give up the right to sue them later.
Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 1-888-403-8201. If you or a loved one has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, even if they've passed, you must register for benefits. That's weedkillerclass.com. 1-888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
Wow, this is bad.
Oh no, how bad? When will my AC be fixed?
You know, I don't know. It's your flux capacitor. They don't make them anymore. Special order. Couple grand easy.
Oh my God, what?
Don't get air-conned into paying for shoddy service and stuff you don't need. Put Goodfellas on the job. Goodfellas AC will repair or install your AC the right way the first time. You'll know up front exactly what it'll cost and how long it'll take. No surprises and free second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Have you ever heard of the 5 Ps? That's right, the 5 Ps. These can be applied to most every area of your life, but it's especially true for you and your money. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and many years ago when I was a young man in the Marine Corps, I learned about the 5 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Now, you can't control what's happening with the stock market, but you can control how you plan for it. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have been helping our clients with the 5 Ps for years. We have hearts of teachers and will never complicate by using financial jargon. Our fee structure is transparent. The more you make, the more we make. The majority of our clients come from other financial advisors. Isn't it time for a second opinion to allow Trajan Wealth to help you with the 5 Ps too? Call Trajan today, 321-4100, or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We now join our damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, a victim of high tobacco prices.
Help! Somebody save me!
Never fear, my dear. Captain Tobacco is here.
Captain, high prices are coming down the track.
You'll never stop my high prices. Pardon me while I untie this fair lady.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
There, you're free.
My hero.
Drats.
You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now for you, high prices, I dare ya.
Hooray!
That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, finding high tobacco prices everywhere.
Captain, I could just kiss you.
Oh no!
Oh, brother. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
If you could rewind 10 years, what would you do differently? Buy Apple stock at $20? Skip the Ghost Pepper Challenge? Maybe even rethink the skinny jeans. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Some regrets are harmless, termite damage isn't. You can't go back in time, but you can keep termites from eating your future. Call Blue Sky Pest Control today for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Tuned to DK on the Sports Tip weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hour number 3 of our program on this Wednesday, Hump Day. Hope everything is going well for you. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We had the Pima women's basketball team won the national championship in Division II this year. We had Melissa Nelson in studio with us a few weeks ago prior to us departing for Indianapolis in the men's Division I Final Four. Melissa Nelson today, along with her teammate Kylie Sowers-Miller, were named first team NCAA Division II All-Americans for this past season. Sowers-Miller, the 5th Pima women's basketball player to become a 2-time Division II first team All-American. So congratulations to Kylie. 19 points this season, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks per game. Started all 34 games for the Aztecs and had 15 games where she had double-digit points and double-digit rebounds. Nelson, who was the Division II National Tournament's most valuable player, played in and started 33 games, averaged 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists this season to go along with 3 steals. She had 4 triple-doubles this year, did Melissa Nelson. They are the 21st and 22nd members of the Aztec program to win the All-American Award. So congratulations to them, and they won the program's first national championship late last month out in Hickory, North Carolina. So shout out to those young ladies for their tremendous seasons and definitely award-winning worthy for sure.
So we've been talking a lot about transfer portal opened up yesterday, right?
Yes.
Did you hear about that guy from Nebraska?
No.
I'll butcher his name. It's like Berke Buyuktunjel. That's how you say his name.
Okay.
So yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, he got 28-7 tattooed on himself. That was Nebraska's
28.7 rebounds.
No, 28-7 was Nebraska's record this year in the first year that they ever won an NCAA tournament game. The best year in Nebraska history. Then he went to the portal the next day. That was my favorite
why
story.
would you get a tattoo?
Like they showed the picture, it's still got like the red irritation marks around the tattoo, it's still fresh, and his name's in the portal.
That's crazy.
That'll tell you what the landscape of college athletics is.
Now, do you think like he had a meeting and they said might that have been one of those you may want to get into the portal conversations that coaches have said that sometimes you have to tell guys to go into the portal? You know, like Dion says you might want to go into the portal.
Yeah, you're not going to be playing next year.
That might be one of those because I can't imagine you knowingly get a tattoo on yourself representing the team you're currently with if you knew if you knew 24 hours later you were going to go in the portal.
I mean, he's been getting a lot of, people have been talking about it today, but I see it as remembering a great year of your life. Like, I don't think,
that's true.
If he had, if he tattooed the mascot for Nebraska or his coach's face or something like that is different. But I think, memorializing the year that they had this year, which was the greatest in the 115 years Nebraska's ever played basketball, I think it's kind of cool. And it's not anything like crazy audacious. It's just like a little tattoo of but the fact that they got the record tattooed and then entered the portal the next day, I think is just a great story.
All right, let's hope he lands somewhere that he
started with Kansas, went to Nebraska. Rumors are now maybe UCLA.
Ooh, all right. Last night, the Suns lost to the Houston Rockets, a game that they were ahead. 119-103 was the final. The Rockets are all of a sudden hot. They've won. They've been a good team all year, but they're really blazing right now. They've won seven consecutive games. Have the Houston Rockets.
It's easier to win 7 consecutive games this time of year. You know why?
Because everybody's tanking.
Because half the teams are playing do not want to win the games. Yeah.
Okay, so let's where should we start then? Should we start with what the Suns did, or should we start with the alleged tanking from last night? Let's go there first.
I'd rather hear Kevin Durant say that Dylan Brooks is not somebody he loses sleep over.
Okay. let's hear that first. Let's hear Kevin Durant talking about Dylan Brooks, who he's played a number of times.
Hilarious highlight last night of the two of them getting into it actively, mouthing at one another up and down the court. They get separated. They're still jarring from like 20 feet away on the court. Same play, live basketball. KD gets the ball, sweep through with his arms, and Brooks was on ice. Like he fell down. He slipped with both feet. And so that video has been going all over the internet today. But obviously KD, Dylan Brooks is that kind of guy who tries to get in guys' heads and tries to get underneath people's skin. And KD's just not the guy to listen to that. So, KD had this to say after the game about Dylan Brooks.
Kevin, it looked like Dylan, you don't need extra to play well. But it looked like the chatter with Dylan kind of got you maybe to go to even another place.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. I'm not giving him that. You don't get that type of credit with me. Maybe some other guys that they may turn up because he talked to him, but he's not that important or special to me to get me going. You know what I'm saying? I wake up going, getting ready to play. You know what I'm saying? But I respect Dylan. I respect what he brings to the game. Like I said earlier, I think that gets him going more than me. You know what I'm saying? And I just happened to get that ball right afterwards and make a good move, but it wasn't in spite of Dylan. I wanted to show him up. Like, he's not that much of a concern to me, but I respect how he approaches the game and what he does.
Yeah, I mean, again, like there's certain guys, DK, Patrick Beverley, Dylan Brooks kind of fall in that category of you might not see them a lot of chatter, game in, game out, like every single possession, but I've never seen that as them actively attempting to get in the heads of other players as much as they need to do that to hype themselves up to play at the highest level they can. I think it's a big, that's energy to help Dylan Brooks play his best, more so because you're not going to ever get into KD's head to begin with. But yeah, the Houston Rockets have always had a really solid roster. You talk about the addition of KD, but Sengun's obviously an all-star. Thompson is coming along. I think he's his third season now. He's probably one of the best defenders in the NBA. So really, really solid roster. The thing is, nobody thought they would be here. You know why? Because Fred VanVleet got injured before the season started and hasn't played all year long. Mm-hmm. And that's their veteran backcourt leader. So that, if Fred VanVleet plays this entire season, I think Houston is probably, 2 or 3 right behind. Nobody saw the Spurs being this good this fast. Everybody knew that the OKC team would pick up where they left off last year, but Houston is definitely one of those teams in that conversation. Turning it on now towards the end of the season, making a bit of a playoff push now that, they know exactly where they're going to be in the playoff standings.
Not a good night for Dylan Brooks last night. 3 of 12, only hit 1 of his 7 3-pointers, finished with 10 points in the game as the Suns at home blew a big lead and lost to the Rockets. Again, they will get the Mavericks tonight. And that game last night was on national television, so not a good look for the rest of the country. Tonight, the Mavs and Suns will tip off at 7 o'clock down at the Mortgage Marketplex of America in downtown Phoenix. So if you're headed up to that game, love to hear from you. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. So we had somebody on the text groove that texted, DK, did you end up going to the game or going to dinner? Because that was a conversation that we had. A gentleman had texted the program and said I needed to try Lothmiller's, which is a restaurant, a pub restaurant in downtown Indianapolis. And so I was Monday night was my last chance to go to dinner because I was leaving right after the game and heading to Cincinnati to fly back. So the conversation was we put out a quick question of the day. I think we got 3 votes, and 2 of the 3 people said I should go to dinner and not go to the game. I did end up going to the game and not going to dinner at Lothmiller's. So I'll have to hit Lothmiller's when we get back in Indianapolis at some point in the future. There you go.
Next time.
All right, Cricket rejoins us again. So at the end of the last hour when Cricket was here, we were talking about, because she had a quote that had to kind of do, you want to read it one more time? You
Sure.
Still have it? Go ahead and read that one more time.
We choose to go to the moon. Yeah. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard, because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. JFK.
There you go. So Artemis is obviously the latest venture in the space program, Artemis 2. They've gotten they're sending back some really incredible pictures of the moon, and here's my thing. It's like, because what do we now? We first went to the moon in 1967. Was that correct?
I believe that's correct.
67, 68?
Allegedly.
Yeah, somewhere. So we're 50 years away from the first time we went to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you made a statement that you thought that John F. Kennedy would be really proud of where we are right now.
I think so.
But would he be? Because didn't you think? I mean, I was born right around the time we did that. Didn't you think we'd be further along in our space exploration than we are right now? And I want to, and I say that because we've been ruined. I think we've been ruined by the film industry and how they've depicted space movies for the last 50 years. I mean,
That's
we can
fair.
go back to start with Star Wars and everything that's come after that, and what we thought. And I don't know if that led, preteens like me to believe that, in 50 years, we're gonna be fighter jetting in space with other planets,
Right, we're
and
gonna
that
be
kind of
living
thing.
there, yeah.
We're gonna be even if it's not that, we're gonna be living more in space than we currently are. So that's always been. I mean, and I feel like the shuttle disasters have put us back in terms of our space exploration that we had. And so I think the only, and again, television media, the only thing that in terms of like high tech that we thought we were getting when we were kids was the video telephoning people like we saw on the Jetsons. That's the only thing that's like actually come true.
That's really happening.
Yeah,
So
it's
you want
actually
like
really
a
happening.
bubble hat for your dog, is what you're
And
saying.
flying cars. It's flying cars, right?
I'll tell you what really screwed all that up was the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because the big reason for that moon landing was the space race with the Soviet Union, and that
Had
was
to
a
beat
we're
them.
better than you are, you're
Yeah.
better than we are. Like, that's a big push for that moon landing. And I think the practicality, to me, the most amazing thing about that is going back and seeing like how much RAM was available and how much data was sent on those ships relative to what we have in our phones today. Like, our phones are more advanced than those machines were that they took them up there. But relative to why we haven't, I think it's just a cost effective, like if there are resources to mine or if there's a purpose for it. But more recently, what you're hearing is a lot of tourism, right? Like a lot of the talk in the last 15 or 20 years has been about, go up to with one of these different companies like SpaceX or Blue Origin or any of these others, give us millions of dollars and we'll take you up into space and you can pretend like your dog has a bubble hat.
It's true, it's wild, yeah.
I mean, it just boggles my mind that what the last person that walked on the moon was what, 1972? Was the last time we sent like 11 people to the moon in between like 68 and 65 and 72, and nobody's walked on the moon
since then.
Yeah, they put so much money into the the orbiting satellites where the space stations where they've been maintaining them for decades now. And so that has been a lot of, because the real question is, if you're going to go up, you need to make some kind of sustainable situation where you can have either people stay there or you can bring people back and forth to do any kind of whatever tests you need to do or exploration, because obviously the moon's a big place. That has to be the next line. But the way I understand is that this was all raring to go about 8 years ago, but now they're cutting back on a lot of those programs. The other fascinating thing about Artemis 2 is that's the furthest humans have ever been from Earth.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
That's cool.
And that's the other thing that just boggles my mind. I'm like, Jesus, we're just now reaching that point in our space exploration. I just thought this is just my personal, I just thought we'd be further along than we are right now.
That's
when
fair.
I was growing up in the 1970s.
Did you ever think Nutella would be in outer space? Did you see the shot where they were the bottle of Nutella or the jar was just kind of floating around? It was like, hey, that's a great ad. That's some good stuff.
It is. All right. So if you want to get in on that conversation, we can talk about that too. 520-848-1290. Are we where you thought we'd be in space on April 8th, 2026?
Good question.
Hey, 2 years anniversary of the total solar eclipse that I got to see. I should have worn my total. I should have worn my total solar eclipse glasses, because that was probably one of the most impressive things, impressive events of my life. Was seeing. I'd always wanted to see a total solar eclipse in person, and so I'm glad I got to do that 2 years ago.
That's really cool.
It really was. All right, Cricket is now getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
And from the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Crash occurred downtown at Toole and 6th Avenue in Toole. Also, some slowing on northbound I-19 approaching Ajo Way. Big closure for roadwork, 22nd Street closed, Tucson Boulevard to Cherry Belle Avenue. You could use Broadway or maybe Aviation Parkway instead. 62, the overnight low, 93, mostly sunny tomorrow, and 90 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Burger King. Burger King has been working on the Whopper, and thanks to you, it's never tasted better. Flame grilled beef, crisp produce, and a perfectly toasted bun. Whether it's been weeks or years, come try the Whopper again for only $3.99 on Whopper Wednesday. Terms apply. Visit bk.com/terms.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400, AZROC 214570.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hi, Flo here to say that Progressive knows that life can change quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, like when I have to take my ex off my policy.
Oh, sorry. But yes, we can do that.
And can you send them a message and tell them that they have trust issues that they need to work on?
We don't really get in the middle of these conflicts.
Also, can you let them know that I was faking interest in his band and it's probably time to grow up?
I'm not going to do it. Just know that with Progressive, you can easily make changes to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Also, I'm staying in touch with his mom because she's absolutely lovely.
Bad idea.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hi, Flo here to say that Progressive knows that life can change quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, like when I have to take my ex off my policy.
Oh, sorry. But yes, we can do that.
And can you send them a message and tell them that they have trust issues that they need to work on?
We don't really get in the middle of these conflicts.
Also, can you let them know that I was faking interest in his band and it's probably time to grow up?
I'm not going to do it. Just know that with Progressive, you can easily make changes to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Also, I'm staying in touch with his mom because she's absolutely lovely.
Bad idea.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
So hot. Hi, can I help you? Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team. But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought. This AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. Today we salute basketball star AZ Fudd on her tremendous run with UConn. The top overall seed saw their season and 54-game winning streak end last Friday against South Carolina. And while Fudd struggled in that game, her accomplishments should not be overlooked. After missing most of the 2023-2024 season with a torn ACL, she returned in emphatic fashion, earning Most Outstanding Player honors at last year's Final Four. This season, as a defending national champion, Fudd was named a first-team All-American. The semifinal loss wasn't the ending she wanted, but she leaves a lasting legacy with the historic UConn program.
The coaching staff, the teammates, sports staff, everyone from this program that's poured into me, touched me. I'll never be able to really verbalize how much they've meant to me.
With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Maggie Gray on Westwood.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, the Diamondbacks won today by a score of 7-2 over the New York Mets on the road. So that wraps up that series, I believe. They head now to, no, actually they have one more game. Tomorrow.
I got one highlight if you want to hear that.
One highlight from the game.
Corbin Carroll came up big in the second inning.
Let's hear it.
And Corbin jumps on the first one and knocks it into right center. Jose Fernandez scored. Barossa coming in right behind. Corbin Carroll with a two-run double, and it's 4-0.
But again, in the strike zone, Carroll waits back enough to throw it in the gap. And you mentioned all the action was happening early for those Giants, and the D-backs are following suit. That's 2 hits on 2 straight pitches.
Ryan Nelson, 5 2/3 innings, a run on 5 hits. He had 5 strikeouts, did not walk a batter in the ball game. He gets the win. He's 1-1. Ryan Thompson, Andrew Hoffman, and the final reliever was Taylor Clark, wrapping things up on that 7-2 victory. So the D-backs are 6-6. Now, nothing to get excited about, but they're in second place. The surprising thing is who else is 6-6 in the division? The Colorado Rockies. The Colorado Rockies are right there at 6. There are 3 teams.
Let me guess, they played
6.
all their games at home.
I don't know actually where they how their schedule has worked out thus far, but I just know they're not 0-12, which in past years that's likely where they would have been 0-12 or 1-11. The Rockies are 6-6, and they're tied with the Padres for second.
Is there
the
a
Diamondbacks
worse
for second place
job in professional sports than pitching scout?
Manager of the Rockies?
No, pitching scout. Like trying to get guys to come and join your roster to be a pitcher there. That's got to be the hardest job.
I would think so, yeah, because I've said for years, I mean, if you're a pitcher, why would you want to go there?
Why would you ever go there? That's a question.
They just swept the Astros, so there you go, at home. So they've won 4 in a row. They lost the first 2 games in their series to the Phillies, and now they've won the last game of the Phillies series, and then they've beaten the Astros.
We were talking a few months ago. Do they still do the humidor thing?
I do believe they do, yes. I do believe they do. So they started. Yeah, I don't think that's changed. They started their first 6 games on the road. They went 2-4, and so now they are 4-2 at home to get to 6-6. So there you go. The Rockies might be showing some life there in Colorado. That's good to see.
What is it they say? The sun shines, something like that?
Something like that. What is that? I don't know the rest of those lyrics. DW checks in, our guy. He checks in from on occasion, says, hey, guys, talking about Arizona basketball. Hey, guys, great season, great team, great coach. I'm a longtime fan of the U of A men's basketball team in particular. Having said that, as much as the local vocal fans want to believe, the University of Arizona is not one of the so-called blue bloods of men's basketball. We're talking about the blue bloods a little bit earlier in the show, as one blue blood in Kansas is losing their big man, Flory Badunga. Flory is actually the number 1 person as ranked by On3 in the transfer portal right now. Not surprising. We watched him.
Not at all. No,
we watched.
He's great.
Yeah. So D-Dub says, I wish they were a blue blood. They are not in the historical category of the blue bloods, Kansas, Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky. That has to be earned on the court. It's not something that can be self-anointed by fans. It's equivalent to giving yourself your own nickname. Arizona has won 1 national championship. God bless them and Lute Olson. But no matter how many Final Fours, Elite Eights they made, Arizona will continue to be regarded as less than a blue blood basketball team because of just the same kinds of results as happened on Saturday night. Arizona has a dubious track record despite what the otherwise proud U of A fans want to believe. The East Coast doesn't respect the Wildcats, Pac-12, West Coast basketball in general, for a long time now. And they will never regard the U of A as a blue blood until it is earned on the court. Just saying. That comes from D-Dub. D-Dub, appreciate you. Always have good opinions, D-Dub. We have a lot of dubs. J-Dub, K-Dub, D-Dub.
The problem is there's a lot of stupid, lazy media people who throw blue blood around as if it's an interchangeable, and so therefore another bunch of morons just glob onto that, DK,
Right.
and just use as a talking point. Like UConn is a blue blood now. Michigan won a title. They're a blue blood now. There's only 5 schools that are blue bloods, and you can't join those schools. They will always be the blue bloods. Now, the question is, it's like the Yankees and the Dodgers, DK.
Right.
Like the Yankees and the Dodgers will always be in a stratosphere that Houston can never touch. Like how many championships would Houston have to win consecutively to be in the same conversation as the Yankees and the Dodgers? You can't get into that category.
And I don't think so. And because of the historical nature of baseball, they could never get it.
And it's the same thing with the historical nature of basketball. The reason Kentucky, Kansas, North Carolina, Duke, and UCLA is in there as well are those blue blood schools is because they've been great for 100 years. So the question then becomes, why would you want to join that group? Like fans out there who want to be a part of that group, why? Why do you want to be a part of that group? It's like getting a better, academic standing at a smaller school that does better with the student body than Princeton or Yale or Harvard does, DK. I mean, you want to do better than those schools, not join them in the same category. You want to beat the Dodgers. You want to beat the Yankees. You don't want to be them, right? I mean, that's what the blue bloods are. There's no interchangeable. UConn is the most dominant basketball program of the last 25 years. They're not a blue blood. They're in their own category. They're the modern dominant program. Kentucky, UCLA, Kansas, North Carolina, Duke, those are the dominant programs from the year 1900 until the year 2000. You know what I mean? That's what the category is.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Again, I appreciate D-Dub for checking in as he does from time to time. His thoughts, huge University of Arizona basketball fan, and always has good thoughts when he does chime in on that. Love to hear from you as well. All right, I do. Let me see here real quick. I do have a sweet deal that I'm supposed to tell you about today, so let me do that right now because me, really more Cricket. Cricket is the one that likes to give you stuff. And she's going to give you this sweet deal coming up on Friday. Well, she's not going to give it to you, but she's going to give you an opportunity to get a deal because that's why we call it a sweet deal. This is the Horseshoe Grill. Have you ever been, J-Dub, out on the east side to the Horseshoe Grill? Oh, J-Dub's on the phone.
I'm sorry, what
we'll
was
get
that?
back to him. Have you ever been to the Horseshoe Grill out on the east side?
I have, yeah. I have once.
Okay. Friday, 8:30 a.m., WildcatsRadio1290.com. We're going to give you a sweet deal, $50 gift certificate for just $25 to the Horseshoe Grill. Whoever put this together put Horseshoe Girl. I think it's Horseshoe Grill.
And it makes you chuckle every time you read it.
It does. That was the first time I read it. First time I've seen it because we just got back here. All right, it's located in the Broadway Plaza, corner of Broadway and Pantano. The Horseshoe Grill proudly serves the best mesquite, grilled steaks, ribs, barbecue, and more. Open 7 days a week, lunch and dinner. They have a full bar, happy hour from 3 to 6, where you can watch the biggest games on large screen TVs, enjoying some great food and appetizers in a funky, industrial, chic atmosphere. They've got Taco Tuesday. They can cater your next big event. Give them a call. Horseshoe Grill, not girl. 520-838-0404. 520-838-0404 or thehorseshoegrill.com. This is a sweet deal that we're going to give you, that you're going to have opportunity to get, I should say. 8:30 a.m. Friday morning, $50 gift certificate for just $25 at WildcatsRadio1290.com. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number. Let's hear from Bill. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hi, thanks for taking the call. I've been wanting to do this for a few days, but been out of town and all. And this is very subjective. I wanted to thank, Arizona basketball for what they did this year. And I'm and then one guy that really, I feel great about and disappointed is Bradley. And especially what happened, I don't think it definitely wouldn't have changed the outcome, no doubt. But him getting those couple fouls in the first half totally affected the game. Mm-hmm. His leadership and his presence on the floor is just, you can't really replace that, especially with the starting five. And the moment was really big and you saw that. The three freshmen, whatever. The moment was big for him. Even going back to the Olsen years, you have to go through that one time or two times, in my opinion, before, you get used to it. It's not, that the Final Four in a stadium and everything like that is really different than I think some people perceive. And so, again, my biggest thing is to thank you for that. In the Connecticut game, again, I don't know if the outcome would have been the same, but I'm telling you, getting those three guys with two fouls in the first half 100% affected the game. And the disparity, I don't know if you saw the foul shots, the disparity between 26 for 28 to Michigan and 12 for whatever, that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I mean, and it totally 100% affect the game. Nobody knows it would affect, matter on the outcome, but it just, we didn't get that as fans. We did not get that. And I'm really disappointed at it. And I have a group of guys I played ball with and pretty much all feel the same way around the country and stuff. So, that was my, 2 cents or whatever. And the gentleman who just said about blue bloods, with NIL, everything, even Pitino said, like the Big East was down this year. His words. He had two teams. The ACC was overrated. I mean, 100% overrated. And also, in Arizona actually had a hand in it. Look at the center North Carolina had. One great player, but he was, he moved from Arizona to there because he knew his time was not going to be, he was going to lose his starting job. And same thing with the kid Boswell, who's a great story. He goes to Illinois. I just think that's pretty cool. One for those kids because they got to play in those games. And also Arizona as, having a rep. And one thing about Lloyd, if you go back to his first year and some of the players, it's increased. The quality of kids have increased every year. And what you're going to see with NIL, first it's going to be the money the kids after, and then are going to be able to pick the coaches. The kids that are those top recruits, they're going to go for money first, and then they're going to associate themselves with a really good coach to get themselves better, get them exposure, and even the one and dones. And so that's, I guess, my 2 cents.
That was a great $1.50, Bill. I'll tell you, more than 2 cents. That was a great $1.50.
All right. Well, that's kind of you. But I wish some of these kids would just stay that second year. And I always wish somebody would do a graph or something to do what has happened to kids when they get to the NBA, if they're one and done, and kids that stay 2 or more,
right?
And how long their time in the NBA is. So, all right, I'll let you guys be. Thank you so much for giving me the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you as always. Appreciate your call for sure.
One of the factors is Connecticut was doing Legion of Boom stuff this whole postseason.
Yeah.
Where they've basically, and they've been open and honest about this, DK, were very handsy and very foul-y because they knew the refs couldn't call everything, and especially in those last 2 games where they didn't quite have the skill advantage that they might normally have.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to muck it up to try to keep yourself in it. And like I said, it almost worked. I mean, they were within, they didn't get blown out. They didn't lose by 20+, and they had a chance at the end, the final 3 minutes.
Real quick, I know we're going to break, but Bill's point about you got to go through it first before you learn. Yeah. I love Dan Hurley's comments where he talks about his first time he was there as a head coach, and it was all micromanagement and schedule and down to a T. And this time as a coach, he was asked about it, and he's like, yeah, we're just kind of do whatever. I don't know where all my players are right now. Like completely loose, completely just, been there, done that. And that's just that was 4 years ago was Dan Hurley's first trip, right? And he's completely changed his philosophy 100%.
There you go. That's why he's one of the best in the game, for sure. DK on the Sports Hit, one more segment to go. We got our Casino del Sol replay and a little bit more for you. 520-848-1290 to jump in. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Some slowing on I-19 northbound I-19 just as you pass Irvington. Some slowing for traffic on 22nd Street at Park Avenue. Campbell and Broadway busy westbound and southbound slowing. 62 the overnight low, 93 mostly sunny tomorrow, and 90 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Brakemasters.
You're close to your journey's end. You're winning half the battle, and then it happens. A rattle. You got this. Just head on over to any Brakemasters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brakemasters. We give you an honest break.
There's only one place to catch Brian Jeffries, the voice of your Arizona Wildcats.
Grabbed by Del Orso, who drives the baseline and slams it home.
He did what?
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Oh my gosh, Ted, why are you digging up the yard?
I'm looking for that stupid pipe. The bathroom drain is still clogged.
Shouldn't we call Goodfellas AC and Plumbing? You know, the professionals?
I found the pipe.
Whatever clogs your drains, leave it to the professionals at Goodfellas AC and Plumbing. The choice your family can count on for quick, reliable plumbing service using Permaliner to fix pipes and drains without digging up the yard. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call Trajan today at 321-4100. That's 321-4100.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Andrew and Amy Dobbins here.
Owners of Intelligent Design Solar, Plumbing, and Air.
At Intelligent Design, we believe in the glory of an intelligent designer.
Did you know you have 60,000 miles of blood vessels in your body? Your aorta is about the size of a garden hose, and the smallest capillaries are 1/10 the size of a human hair. It's an amazing plumbing system designed to feed and nurture every cell in your body, and it can grow and repair itself as needed.
Wow, that's some intelligent design right there.
The plumbing in your house can't repair itself, so when it fails, there's usually a mess.
Ugh, that's not some intelligent design right there.
That means you have to pay attention to little warning signs like dripping faucets, toilets running, slow drains, and running out of hot water too soon. Next time one of those things happens, remember to call Intelligent Design. We'll get it fixed in a heartbeat.
Hey, I see what you did there.
When your house feels like hell and not heaven, call 888-8787.
Call us for plumbing fixes or find us online at iDesignAC.com.
Howdy folks, Big Jake here from Old Tucson. Our Wild West Day Park is open. Enjoy Hollywood-style stunt shows, saloon shows, magic, shootouts, rides, games, fine food and drinks, and more. As Old Tucson beckons you to choose your own Western adventure. Season passes now available, but strictly limited and selling fast. For more family fun than you can shake a stick at, head on out to Old Tucson, oldtucson.com.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The Los Angeles Lakers lost horribly to the Thunder last night, but it's not surprising that without LeBron and an injured Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, that the Lakers were absolutely decimated by the best team in the NBA. If Doncic and Reeves can't make it back for the first round of the playoffs, the Lakers' hopes of advancing shrink significantly. The Lakers are one game back of the Denver Nuggets, who have 3 games left in the regular season against the Grizzlies, the Thunder, and the Spurs. I'm Adam Abdallah.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Final segment of our show on this Wednesday as we get you set for the second half of the week. We were talking earlier about just the spring sports and how it seems like everything. I mean, literally, we are, maybe 4 weeks away from graduation and the end of the school year. It just seems like it comes up so quickly on you as another school year is almost at an end here in Southern Arizona.
It's really easy to keep track. Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, yeah. That's true. That's usually that's a great holiday to have at the end of the year. For sure, especially in these parts. I want to welcome all my brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated who are descending. If you see a lot of black and gold hanging around Southern Arizona this weekend.
They're not Dragon Ball's friends?
They are not Dragon Ball's friends, no. But Dragon Ball can be their friend if he'd like.
Well, Steelers colors too, right?
Yeah, no. If you see a lot of black and gold hanging around town this weekend, it is the 77th Western Region Convention over at the DoubleTree happening my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha. So welcome to all my brothers that are here for the convention. We have regional conventions every other year throughout the country. We have 6 regions of our fraternity. The West region compromises the majority of the states out here in the West: Arizona, California, New Mexico, I think Colorado, Utah, and up and down
West Virginia. That's a Western state these days too. Yeah,
yeah. It's we are still very much secular, unlike college athletics, which is no. West Virginia is not in the Western region, and California is not in the Midwest region.
Los Angeles, the famous Great Lakes city.
Yeah, well, they're great ocean cities. No. It doesn't quite work like that. But, yeah, so check out our Step Show Friday night at the Doubletree. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. There's other events that are going to be open to the public. But the Step Show is always the fun. Have you ever been to a Step Show, J-Dub?
I'm not sure if I ever have.
All right, Step Show. It's organized, kind of an organized dancing between groups, men and women, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's kind of a staple of the historically black college and fraternity system that we predominantly black college and fraternities and sororities and whatnot. So
yeah, no, I'm definitely familiar.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to think of it would have been a long time ago in my 20s.
Yeah, you might have seen the brothers stepping on campus.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number again on the program. Let's give you now your Casino del Sol replay.
The Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, we had a chance to catch up with Ryan Radke earlier in the show. He is one of the play-by-play announcers for Westwood One Sports. You hear him every Sunday night during the NFL season on Sunday Night Football here. He is an Arizona graduate.
The only guy who works harder than Brian Jeffries.
Yeah, absolutely. When you think about the fact he does football all season long, then he gets into basketball, and he's going to be doing some games for the Women's College World Series, as he's done as well. He just completed his 6th Women's Final Four as the network play-by-play man. So Ryan, I should say, does it all. That's one of the reasons why it's nice that he gets a break for about 8 weeks during the summertime before the football season rolls around again. Well, one of the things that we asked him was about that he was on the call when the Wildcats clinched the Final Four in San Jose, the win over Purdue, and how he maintained, because he's very good. Ryan's always been very good at maintaining his impartial nature as a broadcaster, but what it meant to him to be on that call as an Arizona alum.
It's always fun. I mean, I'm a Wildcat at heart, and I always will be. And it's always fun to get to see people that I've known for a long time, and get to call games for a team that I'm very familiar with. At the same time, like you said, my job is to be impartial, and I work really, really hard to do that. Really enjoyed talking to Matt Painter and the Purdue guys. They were unbelievable, and they played a heck of a game, especially that first half. So I really try not to get wrapped up in the emotion of it, and stay down the middle on those games. And hopefully I was able to do that.
Did you know, though, that you were going to use the term bear down in your final call? Was that something? I know we had talked to Brian, and he said he had written down a few things to say and ended up not saying anything that he wrote down.
Yeah, I try not to pre-plan things. It's just the way that it's kind of worked for me over the years. And so I like to try to just react in the moment. And that was kind of the first thing that came to mind when the clock was ticking down, and it was obvious that they were going to win. So I'm not one of those. I know there are people that like to do that. It's just not something that's ever worked for me. So I try to just kind of react as things happen.
Ryan Radke joining us, Westwood One announcer, Arizona Wildcats grad, class of 1998, was on the call of the Wildcats in the West Regional weekend in San Jose, women's Final Four this past weekend. When you looked at this men's basketball team this year, Ryan, what did you really like about the way that this team was constructed and the way that it all played out on the floor?
Well, I mean, look, first of all, I think Tommy Lloyd and his staff did a heck of a job. I mean, when you bring in freshmen It's great to get big-time freshmen, but you never know how it's going to work out, right? And I think we saw that around the country this year, that there were teams that had great freshmen who didn't last too long in the tournament. I think the job that those guys did with that team really was brilliant. I mean, you go back to the beginning of the year and, see how Braden Burry struggled right out of the gate. And then, suddenly, maybe became their best player down the stretch in the last couple of weeks. Koa Pete comes out of the gates and, has 30 in that first game against Florida. And, I mean, just unbelievable to help them get off to that good start. And the way they were able to mix those guys with the veterans like Jaden Bradley and Mo Krivas, I just think they did a great job. And I think it was an Arizona team that, probably answered some questions that we've had about other Arizona teams in the past. I think they were a complete team that played at both ends. They were an outstanding offensive team, but they could also lock you up defensively, and they were tough. I mean, they showed up night after night on the glass and had to win some games like that. So I just thought it was a really complete team. It was a fun team to watch all year. Tough for them to end the way they did. It's the wrong team to have a bad night against because Michigan is really, really good, as we saw all season long. But I think they should be really proud of the season they had.
Today's Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
It's you see a lot of people at these Final Four events. You meet a lot of people at these events. There was a man in the locker room, and he had like the kind of a black mop kind of haircut, and I knew I recognized him, but I could not piece it together, like where I recognized him from. And like a younger guy came up and introduced himself, but he didn't say his name and said, "I love your work. I've watched you. I read you and all this. I really appreciate everything you've done throughout the years." And then after a little bit later, I went back into the media room, and it turned out, J-Dub, it was Mitch Albom.
Nice.
Yeah. I was like, I know I recognize this guy, but I
don't even think I could tell you what Mitch Alba looks like, honestly.
I could not figure out exactly where I knew him from or who he was, but yeah, it was Mitch Albom was the guy in the locker room with kind of the black mop haircut. I was like, man, this guy looks like one of the Monkees. Remember the group, the Monkees?
Of course.
Yeah, he looked like one of those guys. All right, that's going to wrap up our show. Thanks to Ryan Radke for joining us. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for Dragon Ball, off today for cricket. And for JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll see you tomorrow. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. With Marana Airport, a fire reported. Marana Airport might be fire crews in the area. Maybe some curiosity slowing near Avra Valley Road and Sandario near the Marana Airport. Maybe even smoke, visible smoke. Some slowing at Grant and Alvernon. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
You're close to your journey's end. You're winning half the battle, and then it happens. A rattle. You got this. Just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
Around Tucson, you've probably seen Cruz on the road across our community. Because Cruz isn't just another law firm, we care about this community. And when one of our own is injured in an accident, we can help. Call 520-567-8000. Cruz & Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wow, this is bad.
Oh no, how bad? When will my AC be fixed?
You know, I don't know. It's your flux capacitor. They don't make them anymore. Special order. Couple grand easy.
Oh my God, what?
Don't get air-conned into paying for shoddy service and stuff you don't need. Put Goodfellas on the job. Goodfellas AC will repair or install your AC the right way the first time. You'll know up front exactly what it'll cost and how long it'll take. No surprises and free second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Swing into spring with $145,000 in cash and prizes only at Casino del Sol. Every week, you could win up to $1,000 in free play and win an invitation to the grand finale on May 29th, where $20,000 in cash and prizes is up for grabs. Don't strike out. Stop by for your free daily entry ticket and get in on the action. Join us for drawings every Friday and Sunday at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and 8 p.m. only at Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pasquayaki tribe.
Are you planning a home renovation? Getting quotes on windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, or flooring? Before you commit, visit the Window Depot and make sure you're not overpaying. The Window Depot is your one-stop shop for top quality products at the lowest prices. We're locally owned and operated with no installers and no middlemen, so you save big. Perfect for DIYers, contractors, and homeowners. Visit a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
There are only about 4,300 publicly traded companies on the U.S. Stock Exchange. But there are an estimated 33 million companies in the U.S. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. The average investor is missing out on over 99% of the investment opportunity that's happening in this beautiful country until now. True portfolio strength is found beyond the confines of the S&P 500, investing in promising companies before they go public. Private real estate, infrastructure, world-changing technologies. This is called the endowment model. The endowment model has historically outperformed the traditional model of just stocks and bonds. If you're an accredited investor and want more from your investments, it's time to think beyond just stocks and bonds. Call Trajan today, 520-200-1600. That's 520-200-1600.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Nobody covers your cats like we do. We are the home of your Arizona Wildcats. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at iccu.com.